And we are live.
Sweet. Well, hello and welcome back to the Tattoo Collecting Podcast.
Welcome, welcome, welcome.
With Fawn Baker and me, Jordan Ruckus. Today we are with Corey Triola, an awesome tattoo collector. We're so excited to hear about his work. And we're also back again with Forrest G, our guest from last week. Okay. Hey, guys.
Today we're going to be talking about collaborative tattoos a lot, as well as like our own, crazy jibber jabber that we always do.
Yep, all of it.
So welcome, guys.
Thank you,
Corey. We haven't met you yet, so tell us a little bit about yourself.
Honestly, I'm kind of new into the game. I really haven't got started collecting since like 2018, so everything's pretty recent for me. I got my first tattoo in 2013, and I said I'd never do it again, and then now I'm here.
That's awesome, man, dude. I've been going through your work. You got an amazing collection.
Thank you.
You said you kind of started most of your collection in the past couple of years?
Yeah, like 2018 is when I got like my first sleeve in like 2015, 2016. I stopped, and then I was like, screw it, I'm just going to keep going. And then 2018 is when I really started.
Oh,
man,
that's
you've
awesome.
Gotten a great start to like a full body suit in no time.
Yeah, I can't wait to show these pictures off. I think it's going to blow people's minds knowing that you've got it all in 2 years.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, man. That was like a 2 or 3 year journey. That's great.
Yeah. I think I've got like 7 sessions during this pandemic.
So like every month you're getting something done pretty much.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah. Isn't it funny how it just becomes like another obligation, another commitment that you're always like planning?
What's funny too is like how everything just fell into my lap during it. Like cancellations and guest spots, and I was just hopped on it.
Nice.
Yeah, when you're serious, the universe will present the opportunities to like
and
get
then once
stuff done that you want done.
Once the ball's rolling, it's like, oh shoot, I just got all this done in this session. Well, sweet. Right. Well, let's go back for the other arm next week.
So where are you from, Corey?
Long Island, New York.
Nice. I thought you were from New York.
Yeah.
My art teacher is from Long Island.
Nice. Yeah, we don't have too much out here, but we have some good shops. Like Kings Avenue is a big one in Long Island. Black Sails is another one. A lot of spots in the city though we go to.
Nice.
Yep.
I haven't made it to I haven't even made it to New York at all.
I haven't made it to New York City yet. I've been upstate New York a little bit. Checked out Alex Gray's Chapel of Sacred Mirrors there.
I have made it to Buffalo, but that was it. That was back when
all the way up there.
It didn't count. It was like I went from like winter to more winter. It was kind of like the weather is now, like 2 feet of snow everywhere. It's good.
You guys got to check out the city though. There's some big time shops over there.
Yeah, I feel like I need to just go spend like a month or 2 in New York and just kind of like walk around and get acclimated and
absolutely.
But yeah, so tell us about the other page that you admin.
In Collabs.
Yeah.
So this is kind of just random one day, and me and 2 of my friends were talking, and the promo pages I think are huge. Like that's how I started meeting and like seeing different artists that I wanted to collect from, just from these promo pages being out. And I saw some people started getting collabs, and I was looking around and I didn't see really any that I noticed that just specified on collaboration style tattoos. So I was like, why don't we start one? And they were both on board. We started it one day, I think like around Thanksgiving, and a couple artists were like all on board with it. And now people are starting to really back it. And now we actually have a logo made, and we're going to try doing some conventions once things start opening back up and just hosting different artists that are just going to showcase collaboration style tattoos all weekend. So that's kind of the plan, or like the direction that we're going with it.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. We talk a lot we talked to Forrest last week, and one of the things that I always like to talk about when we talk about collaborations is just how like magic they are, because it's not, it's not like a lightning strike. It's like 3 lightning strikes at once. That's how rare. So.
And I think there's so many different ways too, like so many different styles. Like you can get a collab where you have different styles meshing, or you have 2 or 3 people that are just doing one piece and it looks like one person did it. Like there's so many different ways you can go about collabs, which is why I think it's awesome. Like you just get to see so many different types of art within it. So that's why we're really trying to push it. And I think
I remember. Oh, go ahead.
I think the artists too just love it, because like they're able to push themselves and try new things that they want to do.
Yeah, I was gonna say, even if they're in like the same style, like you're getting like a unique style out of it because it's the blend of their two styles.
Yep.
So like I remember them being, like you're saying, being excited about it and like wanting to take it on because you get like a unique tattoo out of it that no one else can really have.
Yep. And you never know what they can create from doing it. Like maybe they create a new style just by blending two things together and stuff like that. So that's really why we started it, just because we wanted to showcase like different types of art combined.
Yeah, it definitely makes it like especially interesting because there is like the art fusion element of it. Like there's a normal tattoo, but now there's like multiple artists and influences on it. So it's kind of like a fusion of tattooing basically.
Absolutely. Yep.
Is most of your work like collabs and stuff like that, or how, like when did you start getting like really into it?
You want to hear something funny? I don't actually have a collab myself. Yeah. Two of the guys that I started with both do.
Oh, really?
I have yet to get one. I kind of call myself like a little bit of I don't take it that well, to be honest with you. I don't get tattooed that well. I tough it out. I sit through it, but I mean, I know my limits, so I don't know how much I'd actually be able to sit through.
Do you normally just do like full day sessions, or like what's it?
Yeah,
like
full day sessions. I've done a couple that have been back to back, but I try to avoid it now.
Yeah, with people like traveling, like you're saying with guest spots and stuff, you kind of have to like get it in when you can. I hate like unfinished work. Some people are like cool with just waiting, but if I get something started, I'm like, I kind of want to see the finished piece already.
Just walk around with something that's not done, you're just like, all right, maybe I will suck it up for another day. But
yeah.
I think
I don't know, like collabs I feel like are more efficient, like because you are getting two artists, so like I don't know if I don't it's just like an interesting like aspect of it. Like I feel like they do accomplish a lot more because they are like working together, whether like they're tattooing at the same time or just like kind of switching off and constantly tattooing.
I mean, if you could handle it, more power to you. I think I'm just like so sensitive. Like I could eat like hour 7 with one day, like one person. I'm like, all right, I'm done. Like. You can count me out now, but one of our friends actually just got his entire back done in 2 days.
Oh, really?
By 3 artists, Michael Perry, Jake Sheffield, and Robbie Latos. And we did 12 hours, 2 days in a row, full back piece. And just like seeing him go through that, I know there's no way I'd be able to do it.
Yeah. Oh, man, that's...
Yeah,
at least like that's kind of an easier spot for it because like that's kind of the challenge of the collabs, like everyone working at the same time. So at least they can like space it out, or I don't know, everyone does it like different ways. Like there's some collabs where they just kind of like work their own areas, or they can like rotate through it. So it all, like that's a big aspect of it, is like how they actually work, like their process through it, and that all depends on placement. So the back is that's like
it's definitely interesting to watch too, just be like the way they go about it, like you said, and different people's formats to like tackle it, and it's definitely cool.
So are you like shopping out a collab, or like you're obviously interested in it?
I am, but like as long as the people are like understand that like you're getting a day out of me. That's it. like maybe 7 to 8 hours, and like if you can finish it within, I'll do it. But you're not getting me back the second day.
You can always do like a Rat Pack collab and just have 5 or however many.
No way.
One full day, that'll be crazy.
6 people, like 12 hours straight.
That's how I kind of want to do my arm. My right arm, I want to be like a 5 or 6 person collab. So it's
crazy.
Absurd. I think it'll have to be 2 or 3 days, though. I don't know if we could do it all in one, just for like. My arm's not that big. I can't have that many people working on it at once. Like just real estate wise. But I don't know how people do it when they've got like 5 and 6 people at one time working on them. Like I could imagine 2 people working on me at once and then trading off, and another 2 people coming on. But I can't imagine what it would be like to have like 4 or 5 people working on me at one time. Like anytime I get a chance to watch somebody being worked on like that, it just blows my mind. And then I imagine what it must be like when they're healing. They must be miserable healing.
Yeah.
Craziness.
I mean, anything of that scale is going to suck like for a heal anyways, especially if it's like an initial session where it's just like so much coverage, and I don't know.
It honestly amazes me too when I see like people's skin being able to take it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if it's just me, but like I actually got tattooed yesterday for a small piece. It's the first time I've ever bled, and like I'm so swollen and red that my skin just doesn't take it that well sometimes. Like that's why I said like hour 7 for me on a full day session. That's when my skin starts telling me like, all right, like I think I want to stop. So like that's what really amazes me, that some people just like can take it physically. But
I saw that on Instagram. Looked like it was bleeding a decent bit. So
yeah, yesterday was very strange. Yeah.
It looked like a good time though. That was like at Bowman's place, right? That looked pretty like really cool.
Up in Cortland, awesome place. It's got like this whole collection thing going on with 2 other artists, and they got like all their toys and collectibles, and it really was a cool place to see.
Yeah, I thought you were just at a museum at first, and then you ended up like getting tattooed. Like
what it looks like. That's what it looks like. No, that's awesome though.
What'd you get? It was like an inhaler or something like that, right?
I got an inhaler.
Bowman style.
Yeah, I got an inhaler with a gold chain that says Wheezy.
Oh, it's amazing.
I love it.
We didn't get to finish it because I wouldn't stop bleeding.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was just like, I don't want to keep hammering like this one spot on you. You're better off just like next time I see you, we'll get back into it and just finish the chain. Like that's the first time I've ever like bled like that. So I don't know.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you did differently over the last few days that could have contributed? Like nothing different?
Nothing. I mean, I haven't gotten color done in probably like 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but I don't know. It was very strange.
Did you send us a picture of that at all?
No, I just got it done yesterday. I wouldn't even.
Oh, just yesterday. Okay,
Yeah.
sorry, missed that.
Probably too bluffing for a pic. It sounds like.
So good. I drove up to Cortland at like 6 a.m. We started at 12. I drove back and got home by like 10.
Dang.
Yeah.
At least he's like relatively close, so you can finish it whenever you get the chance.
Yeah, and he comes to the city once in a while, so we'll figure it out.
So what's your like normal process like leading up to a tattoo? Then you said you did like everything the same, right?
Everything. I mean, like, so it's kind of like I have the worst like preparation whatsoever. I can never sleep the night before a tattoo, and the day that I got tattooed, I can't sleep that night. Like I can try anything, and I just can't sleep. I don't know what it is.
Because you're excited.
Maybe
that's what it is. It's the excitement.
That's
sometimes it's like I try to go to bed at like 11 or midnight, like, you know, a reasonable hour for an artist, like before I get work done. And I'll be like till 4 a.m, just like trying to go to sleep, just tossing and turning. And then I wake up super early. So I show up at my appointment exhausted, no appetite because I didn't sleep.
Yep, I feel that. I know exactly.
And you're already drained. So it's just like the needle.
And then your stomach's always kind of weird in the morning, at least for me. So it's like hard to like go eat a big ass breakfast or something like that. It's like I actually tend to eat a little bit less, even though I know I should like have a big solid meal.
That's why I always tell my clients to carbo load the night before, like do either pasta or a baked potato or something like that. Great, that way, like even if you don't get good sleep, you've got that good energy that's going to kick in 12 hours later.
Right. You don't feel like you got bubbles popping in your brain.
Yeah. Even like tattooed. Some of my clients that are on low carb diets, it's like, oh no, you've got to recover from a tattoo. So it's the best excuse for a few cheat days. Like, load up on those carbs beforehand and lots of water.
You'll burn it off during the tattoo anyways.
Yeah. Yep. Honestly, I sweat like crazy no matter where I get tattooed. So it's like, I don't know.
I always freeze to death, so I wish I was sweating.
Damn. See, my friend Rob that got his back done was freezing all the time. We had to put like sweatshirts over him, and I'm like taking clothes off. I'm sweating so much.
Color.
But
that's what's weird. Everyone react like it's literally opposite reaction.
So oh my god! I've seen people wearing like gloves and like extra pants, and I'm just like, I'm in like shorts with no socks and a t-shirt, like still sweating.
I'm the opposite. I'm always super duper cold. I have, it's actually, I call it my tattoo blanket, but it's like a blanket made out of like recycled saris. So it's 2 patterns, like a different pattern on each side. So like I use that to keep warm, but then like if I'm getting worked on at a convention, I can keep track of which side like goes against me and which side is contaminated with all the gross people I'm trying not to touch. So it's both like it keeps me warm, but it's also like my germ barrier for when I go out and smoke weed in the parking lot.
Awesome.
But I'm cold, man. I'm one of those people that like I always have like cozy sweatpants on, usually 2 pair of socks. And like as I get worked on, like the longer it goes and my body starts to like exhibit shock symptoms, I get chilled. I don't sweat. I get really cold and I get like shivery, like to the point where like I get just can't sit
definitely
still.
like almost like that bottomless cold where it's like you just start shivering like crazy and you can't stop shivering. It's like I'm kind of cold, but I'm not like this cold. I just like can't stop fucking shivering. I think that's when you start sweating just a little bit and then air hits you. You know, you're in the moment, sweat, and then you stop for a second, and then you just feel that air hit you, and now you're just freezing.
I don't know.
It's funny too that you say that. Like we see that. I feel like every convention I go to, there's at least one person that like has that issue, and like they're like calling in like the nurses or like the ambulance to come look at them and stuff like that. And
Quick, this man needs more blankets and less blankets.
Calling in the ambulance.
Yeah.
Ambulance, that's so funny.
But that's also like another, like we have a lot of people that started messaging the page, like asking like advice and stuff like that. And I think some people don't understand like what they're getting themselves into sometimes.
You're really putting your body through the ringer with one tattooer. And if you have two people working on you at once, like or 2 days in a row, like you're really putting your body through the ringer. I tell people it's like running a marathon. So you should prepare like you're running a marathon.
Yeah. All your lymph nodes are going to swell up too. You know, that's what happens to me. It's whatever lymph nodes are closest.
Afterwards.
Me? Yeah. I do. I can always feel it when you put your arms down and you got right in that front corner. You're like, oh, that's a little bit more tougher than it normally is to put down, and then my groin will get it a little bit.
Absolutely. But I always tell people too, like if you don't have anything that's been like a full day session, like maybe you shouldn't be trying to book a multi-day session at a convention if you don't know what.
Oh my gosh, yeah, no kidding.
And I've seen it more times than I care to count. But
I've seen it. I've been the one tattooing the people.
Yeah, I've worked my way up to it myself as a collector. And as a tattooer, like I don't think I would have challenged my collectors to do the things that I have done until I have done them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I just wouldn't feel right working multiple days on the same project unless I had experienced it. Like now I know what it feels like. Now I know how to like deal with the skin and deal with the exhaustion and how to like because there are a lot of pros. Like when a person is already exhausted and they sit down on that table and they don't have any like squirm or squiggle left in them, you can get so much done so fast. And that's what I call cruel to be kind, is they're exhausted, so you can just make the most of it and get the most done.
Right.
So I feel like for me, like when I'm being worked on or when I am doing the work, that second day is almost more productive every time, just because.
Always. I kind of run by that rule. And I usually tell people that when they schedule a second, you know, 2 days in a row.
The first day is going to be the backbone of the project. And the second day is where the magic is really going to happen.
Right. If you are experienced and you've been through these types of things.
But like starting out, like I got my ribs done, and each of my ribs, they're not super huge pieces, but each of those were done in sessions. So like until I committed to my leg, I had only sat for like 4.5 hours at a time. Damn. But when we jumped into my leg, you know how Adam works. Like some sessions might be 3.5 hours. Other sessions might be 9. Right. So it like once I sat through some of those long sessions with Adam, and then that's probably what made it less scary to jump into a big collaborative chest piece, is just because I already had those hours under my belt and I did kind of know what I was signing up for.
Yeah, your feet wet. You understood a little bit like what you're going to get yourself into.
Yeah, I was definitely pushed to the limit though. But the thing is every time I take on a big project like that myself, it's like my limit gets pushed a little further. So my limit becomes a little further. So like if it wasn't for Ty and Adam working on me for 5 hours straight until like my body was done. Yeah. That is what gave me the balls to commit to Russ and Tofi working on me for a 9.5 hour leg piece. Like if it wasn't for experiencing what I did on my chest, I would not have been able to just be like, yeah, let's do it. You know, it would have been incredibly intimidating if I had never experienced that collaborative process before. And then not having the choice to have it had to be done that day because Tofi's from Poland. So if I didn't get it finished that day, you know, the whole project would have been changed.
Yeah.
It's almost better because it just like forces you like if we travel somewhere, like, all right, I know I got to get this done because I'm not anywhere close, like to get back. And it almost is just like a little push.
That added pressure always helps.
Yeah.
It's like if you go back to like track practice or whatever sport you played when they're like, dig deep.
Yeah.
That travel and that knowing how inconvenient it's going to be to see the artist again gives you that extra 2 hours. Cause it's like, man, if I just sit here for another 2 hours, I don't have to drive another 16, you know, like it definitely makes you like where you might be like, for instance, when Adam was working in Columbus, I lived in Marion. So I was like a 45-minute drive away. So there were some days where it would just be like, man, I'm over it. And he'd be like, you're only an hour away. We'll just schedule another day.
Yeah.
But when I'm traveling from Columbus to Roswell, Georgia, it's a lot more like, oh, I made the drive. Let's get it done. Let's make it worth it.
Yeah.
Even though I'm just miserable and want to be done, it just makes me like,
Yep.
gives me more stamina. It's like future me is my cheerleader. Like future me is like, come on, you
right.
can
You're
do
gonna be so
this.
happy you did this.
Yeah.
How many days would you do when you went down to Georgia?
2. I think we only had a couple of sessions that were only one day. When we went to Tattoo the Lou, that was supposed to be 2 days back to back, but we got so much done the first day that Russ was like, so I'm cool with how much we got done if you are. Man, he worked my whole, like from the middle of my back all the way to the bottom of my cheeks. Like all the butt crack area, the low cheek area, and it was at a convention in front of everybody.
That's exactly what I was going to say. That's crazy. You did the same thing with your chest too. Like, you just go for it.
You know, I used to be a really modest person, Forrest. I used to be like, nobody would have ever seen me topless in a million years. But like, now that I'm covered in artwork, it's like, I don't feel like people are looking at me in any kind of like inappropriate way. And maybe they are. Don't tell me otherwise. I want to assume they're not.
Yeah.
But I just feel like when I've got so much artwork to show off, people can look at a set of boobs any day, but they can't look at this amazing work from Adam and Ty every day.
Right.
So like modesty has gone out the window. And like when I'd go down to Georgia, I just feel like, so as a tattooer, one of the frustrating things about working big is you've always got to like work with your client's decency, and you've always got to like fight around the clothes, and you've always got to fight around like the balled up underwear and bra, and you know, because people don't want to be exposed. So as an artist, I know how frustrating that is, but it's just part of the job. So when, you know, when I got comfortable enough with Adam and Ty that I was just topless with them, you know, we didn't even really worry about pasties or anything like that other than for photos. So when Russ started my back, it was like, I just feel like even if I only have a thong on, having that thong rub on freshly tattooed skin, and then Russ having to move it around while it's all gross and covered in ink and trying to keep me clean. Like, I just feel like I need to swallow it and get over it. Cause what is that thong really covering? And like in my head, I'm like, he's married. He has a wife. He's seen it. He knows.
Like you're saying, it's the job. So it's basically like a clinical experience for him. Like he's just doing his job.
So for me, I forced myself to be comfortable being nude. And then on top of just me and Russ being in his private room, like Russ is an educator. So it's a huge part, if you're ever at Ink and Dagger, it's a huge part of the environment that they're all educating one another and they're all learning from one another. And people are always coming into Russ's room to like look at what he's doing. And he's always like explaining what he's doing and why he's doing it to the people that work with him and for him. So I had to like swallow my modesty, not only for Russ, but for that whole studio. So I feel like what I've learned and what I try to encourage my clients is that when you're in the tattoo community, if you're in anything that resembles a classy shop, it's going to be respectful and it's going to be professional. And you're like, even if you're a modest person, just make yourself be comfortable being nude just for the whole process. Yeah. Like that first 20 minutes is awkward, but after that you get over it, you know?
Right. And then
like,
you'll see other people naked walking around, you know, it's just like getting over that stuff and gonna help.
It's like that person walking by topless, they're in shock right now. So they don't care whether you're topless or not. Like their soul just got rocked.
After, you know, an hour of getting tattooed, or, you know, the hour being the beginning threshold of realizing like, oh yeah, my modesty does not fucking matter right now. It's getting through the tattoo that's going to matter today.
Well, and I just feel like sometimes the modesty just adds so much discomfort. Like when you're trying so hard to cover like your bits and pieces, like just get a blanket, cover yourself with it. And, you know, as like, just trust your artist enough to be nude. Like they're changing your body. They're not going to do anything inappropriate. And like I said, any shop that has even an ounce of class, this is going to be the policy.
Yeah.
if you're in a shop where you don't trust your artist enough to be around them, you probably shouldn't be collecting from that artist in an area where it would even be a problem to be nude.
I mean, the last thing you want is like your
I
clients being
definitely, I can agree to that.
Yeah.
What was that for?
What would you say?
I just said the last thing you want is for your clients to be uncomfortable. Like you were saying, it just kind of makes the tattoo harder. So, I mean, any tattoo artist who cares, I guess, just wants their client to be as comfortable as possible.
Right. So whatever it takes for that. I mean, it takes a little bit of coverage for sure, but like it's more uncomfortable when you're like someone feels really weird about it, and then you're trying to like inch, you like pull their shirt like an inch down or something, like, or you're working on a hip or something. You're trying to get into a groin, but like
it's like the wad
they're
of
so modest that you feel like
it's the tattoo.
Right, and it's like you're trying to like rip their clothes to the side. It's like, I'm sorry, this is
push
gonna
that
be
1 inch
way
higher
easier
and give you a more painful wedgie just to make this look good.
Right, like I'd rather you not have your pants off right now. I don't want to deal with everything that's gonna happen waft over at me. Look, we gotta wear masks right now, but we're gonna do it. I'm gonna get over it, you're gonna get over it, and we're gonna have ourselves a good day.
Sometimes you just gotta make a joke of it too, and just like you understand what you're getting yourself into. I just had it for the first time. I got like almost like in my groin. Like I'm like holding everything to the side so he can just like get in there.
Right,
like,
right. You get over all modesty.
Yeah, exactly. Like we were just laughing about it. Like, do you mind moving your junk for like 5 minutes?
That's funny.
Yeah.
Adam and I had that talk when he was working real high up on like my inner thigh area. And I'm sitting there and I'm watching him. And like, for me, that wasn't a like particularly painful area. So, we were actually like having really good conversation that day. And I'm like, as I'm like leaning back, as he's getting like closer up inside, I was like, this has got to be so incredibly awkward when you've got like a whole like armful of balls all up in your space. And he's like, it kind of is, but you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that spot actually was surprisingly like not that bad.
Yeah, a lot of people are really afraid of that area, but I thought that was one of the easy. I feel like the whole upper leg is really pretty easy. That's probably the easiest place on the whole body.
Was it for you?
The upper leg? Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I agree. Even that like collab I had on the inside of my thigh, it was fairly easy. At least the first pass, I feel like it actually kind of sucked pretty bad. The second pass, like kind of like you're saying, way up in the crease of the leg near like pretty much your gooch, basically. Like you were saying, like they just made a joke about it, like it was Ty and Brian there. Yeah. I just kept joking, like their job's to tattoo me, and my job's just to like hold my dick and balls out of the way.
I see your forearm works great as a barrier creator.
We were doing a live, and I even had to like throw a towel over it, like, just because it was just so weird the position I was in and like what was going on. But it was still a cool collab that I wanted to show off. So it was just kind of my job to censor myself hanging out there. It was a good time though.
I had like the knees have been like terrible for me.
Knees are hard, man.
I don't know why. Yeah.
I felt like the back of my knee wasn't too bad, but the front and inside of the knee, like the kneecap and the inside bendy area, awful.
Oh yeah, not looking forward to mine. I know I
kind of think I would rather have my ankle tattooed than my knee, like pain wise.
100%.
And the ankle's brutal. Like that was a brutal session for me, but I think I'd rather have my ankle tattooed than my knee.
Yeah.
I did
the worst
my
spots
inner
always
knee.
look the best.
Yeah. I did my
right. No kidding.
What
more it hurts, the better it's gonna be.
What about your inner knee?
I was gonna say we did one session on the inner knee. I think it was like 7 or 8 hours. And then
that's too much.
After that day, my knee was swollen for like 2 to 3 days. I had to put it on like a pillow and shit. Like it was beat. But yeah.
Isn't that kind of where you got tattooed yesterday, was like on the inside of your knee?
Yeah, but just like a little above it. So like I didn't really touch the knee on this one. The other one is like half my kneecap and like half my knee ditch. Like all
right.
Fun.
Yeah. So that was tough.
I find that joints in general, like elbows, knees, ankles, just tend to swell the most. Like your body's just going to rush a lot of fluid to that area. I think it's kind of normal that they stay swollen a little longer.
I mean, you look at knuckles when you're doing a hand, man, and knuckles just they're just a balloon as soon as you hit them with a needle.
Have you experienced that, Forrest?
The ankle, I swelled up like crazy. The one video I have on my Instagram, it was like, I think that like weekend when I got back from Hell City, I just wanted like a good video of it. And you can see my foot is like fully engorged. Like, I mean, like if you see my toes, they're just like massive sausages, basically. Like I swell like crazy, like on my chest, everything. Like it's just how my body reacts. Like, but you were saying about the ankle, that one definitely did last longer. Like I actually was a little concerned about it because it was still swollen for a while. So I was like, Don't know
Did you
what's going on
fly
here.
immediately after?
No, I drove. I live
Okay.
decently close in Pittsburgh, so I always drive to Columbus.
Okay, I do wonder sometimes, like when people fly immediately after getting worked on, it seems like a lot of those people have tougher heels. And I wonder if there's like something about the pressure changes and stuff is flying while you're healing.
I've only had to fly one time with the tattoo.
Oh man,
fresh.
It's the worst.
I think just like also sanitary reasons, like going into the airports and all that, and sitting on the plane, like you're depending on where it is, if it's creased and stuff like that, you might not be able to get the same stuff, like the creams and stuff on it, and it's just a pain.
I've had to clean myself in a lot of like airport bathrooms, and like I just smell like a corpse basically on the plane because it's like a massive fresh tattoo. I'm like, I'm always so sorry for the people sitting next to me because I'm just like suffering and like.
Sir, you smell like blood. Are you okay? Blood and iron. Are you all right?
You seem to be seeping.
You're a little pale. Are you in fact a zombie?
Like I had the like saran wrap T-shirt too, like it was like on the chest and stuff. Yeah, that's great. I'm just usually trying to pass out and get it over with. Like I don't know, get it somewhat comfortable.
What do you do for healing? Like, do you use anything, or are you just natural?
I did like saran wrap and just like cleaning it every like 3-4 hours, just like always kind of staying on top of it for a while. But like I said, there's travel. I used to like kind of work in shittier places, but I would still always try to like be on top of cleaning it and just at least past that first stage. I would always do like ointment and regular cleaning until it gets like decent enough healed skin, and then like just like regular lotions basically. But on my chest actually, like I did puppy pads on it. Brian had like recently switched to it. It was kind of like the collector. He was on the episode before me.
Is it the tattoo armor?
The tattoo armor.
Yeah, exactly. I saw that.
Yeah,
I was psyched whenever I saw that. Nice. How did you get that? I even messaged them. Like,
I talked to Ed and I'm like, listen, I had like a really bad experience with Sanoderm. Like literally, like luckily it wasn't on the tattoo, but it like ripped off.
Oh yeah. I saw you posting about that.
Yeah,
man. I've had some bad experiences with it too. I don't want to.
I actually had people message me like their experiences, and one girl like literally got like a skin infection under the derm, and her stuff is like skin completely ripped off, like having to go for blood work and stuff like that.
Oh,
and
what's your experience?
It just the edges. So like on the edges, like as I was peeling it off, I'd have like a really hard line.
Right, like a burn almost.
Yeah, it's burn, but I like the very edge literally ripped skin off. So it's just like an open burn.
Oh man.
I still got like a little bit of a scar. So I talked to Ed and I'm like, listen, let me try this tattoo armor you got. And
it worked amazing on my chest, like just the puppy pad. I'm sure that one's better. I don't know. It was kind of the same like process I was doing before. It seems like where you just kind of still regularly clean it. But
it just helps wick that fluid away, though.
Oh my God, yeah.
That's why I like it, because it takes the stuff away, and it's not like, for me, like I know I swell up, so when I have the derm on, with it being tight already, it almost like suffocates it. So like this, it like breathes a little more.
So this is one of the things I talk about with the derm materials all the time is the swelling. So I won't say not to use it. I just don't think it's appropriate on all tattoos. And I think there's a lot of variables. Like if my client has a dirty job, I'll wrap it and then I'll teach them how to wrap it the following days. But I think swelling is one of the things that a lot of people forget to consider, and they'll wrap full limbs in it and they'll wrap huge portions of the body. And I think that's just too much to trap all that potential bacteria and to have all that potential pressure that doesn't need to be there. You know, if it's for a little tattoo on a lower arm, all day long, go ahead and do it. But if you're doing big work, the body needs to swell and it needs to move. And if that skin is swelling, and it just needs room to do what it's got to do. And I know they say that it's breathable and they say the oxygen moves through it, and I'm sure that it does. However, not as much as being like exposed to the open air.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's really crucial for the body. Like the body's not going to heal if it's not getting any oxygen. And if you've trapped it and all that's left is like biodegrading, skin cells and plasma, that's releasing the opposite of oxygen. So you're creating, like, even if there's no bacteria there, you've still got decaying cells. So that's not good to have on fresh healing cells. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I feel like there are pros and cons to it, but I also feel like it needs to be changed daily. I mean, what I'll do with my clients is I'll bandage it.
I feel like it'd be
cut
so
pieces.
damaging. It'd be so damaging to change a Saniderm daily.
Yeah, that's why I'm just.
So here's the other thing. You know how I always say you're supposed to release it like a command hook? Most people haven't been taught that's how you release the adhesive. You don't peel it like a Band-Aid. It's not designed like that. And that's why it rips parts of tattoos and skin off. You're supposed to stretch it like a command strip. And when you stretch it, it loses its tack and just releases and doesn't hurt. But nobody's been taught that.
Right.
Like
even when I mean, I've done the same. I've done that though, even trying to take my Saniderm off. And the last time when Adam had mine, when I was taking off the piece that Adam did, it was so stuck to it. So stuck to it. It was quite a few days. It was quite a few days later.
See, if you change it every 24 hours, that adhesive doesn't have a chance to start chemically messing with those cells. So if you're changing it every 24 hours, you only need to do it 3 or 4 times and the tattoo is healed.
Right. I understand that. I'm just saying to someone.
I also recommend putting on an aftercare. You'll see when I use it, if I'm using Vitalitree or the Inkies or whatever glide I'm using, I'll massage that in for a few minutes and then I'll wipe it dry again. And then I put the Saniderm on. So I have worked some aftercare in so that it doesn't stick the same way.
Gotcha.
A big lip, so put a little bit of aftercare on there. But these are all things that I think a lot of tattooers haven't been taught. Therefore, how could they teach their clients?
Right.
I think it's a great product, but there are a lot of specific ways it's supposed to be used.
It has to be used right. It has to be used right, and
pros and cons.
And everyone's a little bit different, and every tattoo heals differently. And I've used Saniderm in hundreds of tattoos that I've done, and for hundreds of tattoos that I've done, I loved it. And for other dozens and dozens and dozens of ones I had it, less than the amount of good times I've had it. But there has been a lot of times where I didn't like it as much. I've never had a client that had a terrible healing from it, but with things that they would have are like what we're talking about, where taking it off was a bitch, or they had weird chemically burns on the edges of it, or they found out that they were allergic to adhesives after they had Saniderm, things like that. But peeling it off me was just like pulling the worst Band-Aid off I've ever pulled off. And I pulled it off. I've used Saniderm so many times on my own skin, but every time I only do it when I really, really don't want to get it exposed to anything. And I know I'm going to have a rough couple days doing something, traveling or doing something.
Right.
That's but I always have some sort of reaction to it. Almost always. And it's not, I don't think it's the tattooing. I think it's the way the Saniderm is, and, I'm always getting large scale pieces. So it's covering large areas. I just don't think it's the best for large tattoos, but for a small, badge size tattoo or palm size tattoo, I don't know. I think they are really nice, but I think there's a lot of variables that can make it turn into that can affect your healing. If you don't, not taking it off the first couple days.
So long story short, a lot of pros and a lot of cons with Saniderm, but I'm really excited about this tattoo armor.
Yes.
I haven't used it yet, but I mean, I love the puppy pad idea, just.
This is the first time I just used it last night. It was honestly so much easier, going to bed, you don't have to worry about it getting on anything. Obviously. It
feels cleaner, doesn't it?
Yes, it feels so much cleaner. And I didn't get that, so sometimes when I have the derm on, slime. I get the slime and I get these little jolts of I think it needs to be tight. But this had room for me to breathe. So I was I took it off in the morning. You still have the indent of the whole piece on it. Yeah. But no, I loved it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. I think we should probably stop saying Saniderm and start calling it the derms. I don't want to put Saniderm under anything because I do love it in a lot of different ways.
We're gonna have this talk again.
But I don't want Saniderm to be listening and then be like,
in one of our very early episodes, we had an entire
but
episode.
I want to be fair.
I
want to be honest.
On derms.
What was it? Dermal wraps?
Yeah.
DW. We called them something. Dermal wrap products or something.
DWs or some shit like that.
Okay.
I remember, yeah.
But it's for anybody listening
wraps.
that has any opinion about one brand or the other, we're using the term Saniderm as people use the term Kleenex.
Right.
All tissues aren't Kleenex, but people call all tissues Kleenex.
Yeah. There's a lot of different derms.
We're just using that as a general name, but we are not knocking Saniderm. We're not promoting Saniderm. Just we're talking about the dermal healing products.
Yeah. Yeah.
Any of the clear adhesives, stretchy bandages, all of those. 3M makes one called Tegaderm that you can like just pick up in little sheets.
Yep.
It's
We're
all
also
the same
not
thing.
sponsored by Tattoo Armor, but we're learning about it, and we would love to
Yeah.
hear what people think about this because
That was like the first like
love
puppy pad product
type
I'd
of-
heard of. Like I was
Yeah.
just seeking one out because after the chest, I was like, dude, I'm gonna start doing this every single tattoo. Like
Yep.
it was just such a easier, like I don't know.
You know what? I think like
predictable
a
hero,
lot of people in Europe were like already using it, like or have used it a lot. And like now they decided to try this, and like you have that hesitation with some artists, like that they don't know about enough about it that they don't want to like risk trying it. But like once you do and like you see the results, I think it's just it makes sense, especially from someone like me who reacts like their skin just doesn't handle things well. Like I think it's good for someone like me. So yeah.
Yeah. Do you ever so when you say your skin isn't handling well and stuff, do you ever get any like scabbing or like how do your tattoos heal up? Do you get like a thin snake skin peel, like just like your normal average?
Honestly, I
peeler?
don't like it. Just gets red and swollen, but I don't ever get like scabs or anything. Like they all
Yeah.
heal.
I mean, your work looks amazing. It doesn't look like it's scabbing up by
Right.
any means.
Yeah, no, I've never had that, knock on wood. But yeah, I just get super, super red.
Yeah. So it's just all in that just swelling.
Yep.
Swelling and redness.
Yep. I kind of want to show off some of his tattoo pictures.
Do you?
Yeah. What do you think, Corey? You want to take a
Sure.
look and talk about your ink?
Let's do it. Let's pull some stuff up. So, a little screen share here.
Oh, Jordan's driving the mothership right now. There it is.
Have you gotten like all of your work in New York, or do you travel to conventions as well?
No, I've traveled. I've been to maybe like 6 or 7 states. Most of it I'll try to get in New York like if they're here, but I don't mind traveling for it at all. Like I know there's people that I want to go to overseas, and I'm just waiting for stuff to like open back up.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'll drive if I can, and I've yet to get out to like the West Coast for one. Most East Coast so far. But yeah.
All right.
Who did this one?
That is Dennis Sivak in Soho. He has the shop Love Machine.
This piece is so good. I get lost in like, there's all these little details in the hair, and there are a lot of special tricks it takes to pull that off. And he did a really, really nice job with this. That hair at the top where it's like single strands, he did an excellent job. Was this just one session?
No, that was 20 hours. So that was like 2 days.
Nice. It's a beautiful piece.
He actually apprenticed under Dmitry from in the Ukraine.
Okay.
They're all like painterly type guys that really just look into like color blending and all that stuff.
Some of my favorite color artists that I'm following right now are from like Russia and Germany and the Ukraine. You hit the nail on the head. It's like both realistic and painterly at the same time. And their stuff just stands the test of time. It heals exactly the same way that it goes in.
Yeah.
They're just masters. This is what I want to tattoo like.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
His shop in the city now is like they're filled with that. So like I don't know if you know, they have the guy Mashkow that's there from Russia.
Okay, yeah. I didn't realize he was in New York.
Yeah, Levgin is there now.
Mm-hmm.
So like they have a bunch of those dudes that are just like killing it.
So tell us about this one. Who did this piece?
This is from Matt Bagwell. Everyone calls him Skinny. He used to work at Kings Avenue in New York, and then he went down and opened up his new shop in North Carolina. It's called Made to Last Tattoo. He actually did both of my sleeves. He was the one that kind of got me into collecting.
Got you hooked.
Oh yeah. Like at first, when I first started with him, it was just like a half sleeve, and I was like, cut it off. I don't want to see it. It's like a short sleeve shirt on. And then after like that last session, I'm like, what do you think about putting like a leaf on my elbow to like make me get a full sleeve? And he just drew it on, and he's like, let's go. And
I was like, all right, here's some acanthus. Let's do it.
And that was like the end of it. And then once that was done in New York, I just went back down to Carolina and did my full right arm with him. And Yeah, he's the one that got me into like wanting to go to different artists and like kind of actually looking more into the art part of it instead of just like getting a tattoo. But yeah.
Very nice. Yeah, that scroll work looks amazing.
Yeah. He's definitely
super smooth.
Yeah.
Let's go to that full arm.
Yep. So he actually used Liam Neeson's face for Zeus. And
Nice.
Jordan called it. He actually, when we were looking at these pictures before we went live, while we were waiting for everything to connect, he was like, I'm not going to bring it up that it's Liam Neeson. But you totally did.
Yeah.
He was like, I'm not going to bring it up. I was like, bring it up.
Yeah.
First thing you said.
When we did it, I was like, all right, so I want to do like
I love it. Qui-Gon.
Yeah. I was like, I want to do a Greek mythology sleeve, but like I want to use people that like I know or that like can play that role. So like
that's awesome.
We took that from Clash of Titans. The Athena piece, we actually took Gal Gadot's face and just put a helmet on her to represent Athena. And then I got the Poseidon piece before Aquaman actually even came out.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, just got him to represent Poseidon, and then it just fit.
Yeah. They're like, I guess Jason Momoa is just the Aquaman now.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But no, it was definitely fun. And he did that in 2 days.
Pull that Jason Momoa picture up. The forum. There you go. Look at this. So good. I love the trident. I love the motion he made with the trident and then the smoke around it. He has a beautiful form and flow and like visual rhythm that he creates in your arm. Yep. I like the way that the like acanthus leaves start at your wrist and swirl all the way around and connect to the shoulder. I think that's a really nice touch that everything's cohesive. It's not just like patchwork together. There's a flow. Right. I like seeing that.
He breezes by stuff like that. I think that was like 5 hours. Like he does stuff quick.
Damn.
It's funny when I do a black and gray piece because like, all right, you're all done already.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Always feels like there should be more.
I love it though.
He did my whole outer arm from wrist to top of the shoulder in 11 hours.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And it's still like dark and like I don't know if he's got like I think he's got somewhat of a traditional approach. I don't know, but like it's like dark. It stayed well, like probably like some of my best heels have been.
I think black and gray tattooers that work with like a chiaroscuro, like a chiaroscuro approach to tattooing where like all the blacks are exaggerated. I think that's the trick to just making black and gray that stands the test of time. Chiaroscuro.
What's that mean?
It's the technique that Caravaggio used where basically everything's super black and your imagination fills in a lot of the background details. And then you've got like high saturation focal points where like it's highly bright and exposed in certain areas, but the rest is all black. That's called chiaroscuro. And it's a way to like direct your eye in a painting or a piece of art to the most important thing.
Okay. I've never heard that term before.
Yeah. Chiaroscuro.
I love learning new things.
Cool. Yeah.
You're welcome.
Got a little lesson here.
Yeah. But it's the fine art approach that separates a tattoo from a really good tattoo,
Mm-hmm.
Do you want this?
Very cool. There's that one from a distance.
That's so
that
good.
Looks so good from a distance.
Yeah.
Are you going to continue getting color on this leg?
Yeah, so like from that knee up is just going to be all color characters.
Nice.
Yeah, so like right under like the left side on the inner knee is where I just got the inhaler.
Okay. And then everything else is going to stay black and gray?
Yep. I haven't decided with like my back yet, but there's like 2 people overseas that I think I might just let do color just because they can kill it no matter what they do.
Who are you looking at overseas?
Sam Barber or Julian Siebert.
Nice.
Oh, both are amazing.
Yeah.
Both are amazing.
I feel like you just got to let them do like their thing. Like don't give them any like restrictions. And so I don't know. I'm leaning towards that.
Is that for like another piece on your leg, you said?
No, my back.
Oh, shit. Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, Julian's work's some of my favorite. He's like
unbelievable, and he's so fast, like ridiculously fast.
I mean, you always got to mention his like videos with that marker with both hands too. Like he's just obviously an unreal talented artist.
Yep.
His work shows that.
Absolutely. So this is also done by the guy Skinny Matt Bagwell, and this is like 3 years healed. Like you can see it's still like very dark and like super smooth.
This is dark. It is smooth, but I like how soft it is. A lot of the grays are very like the transitions are much more smooth and graceful in this one, where the other arm is more like bold, like as it should be.
Right.
Just based on the subject matter. When you guys were designing your sleeves, did you talk about the symbolism of the different leaves that you chose to use for the like decorative scroll work?
No. So I'll be completely honest. When I did this sleeve with him, I was probably like the most pain in the ass client, like ever. Like, this is when I first started getting like real work done. I'm like, can we do this here? And then like next session, I'm like, what do you think about this here? And like, we literally just pieced this all together. And like, he was trying to fit stuff in. And like, I probably was like the worst to deal with during this.
It looks great. So this one's patchworked, where the other one, he got to make it cohesive.
The other one, I just told him the idea, gave him the people to use, and he just did what he wanted to do.
Golden. Yeah. Sometimes that's how it is. Like as the relationship is built, like I've got a lot of clients where like they dictated the entire first project, and then as the project grew, then it became like, oh no, just do it. Because like as I work, I come up with so many cool ideas, and I can like come up with different ways to tell a story visually that by the time we either get a couple sessions in or we get to the second project, I usually get full freedom. Like we just talk about whatever they want tattooed, and then I bring it to life.
And I learned like after this, I'm like, you're better off just letting them do what they want. They're gonna know way better than me, first of all, and they're just gonna have more fun. Yeah, they're gonna have more fun with it.
He crushed like all the different elements of it though. Like they're all done really well.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, no, he's awesome. I always give him a lot of credit. I'm like, you're the one that got me interested and so passionate about this stuff.
So I don't know if he's done it deliberately or not. This is why I was asking what kind of leaves were used. But like, as you've got this piece that's like a clock, the leaves that he chose to put around it are oak leaves, like scrolling oak leaves.
No idea.
And you'll see an oak leaf a lot in sculptures and like monuments and stuff to represent growth over time. You'll see like acorns and oak leaves, and it represents slow continued growth. So it's kind of cool that he chose to put that around the clock. I was just wondering if you guys talked about that.
Nope, I had no idea, but now I'll use that.
And then on your other arm, those are all acanthus leaves, which are totally different. So I just think that's cool that there's two different leaf languages in his scroll work.
And I think like the filigree, I don't even know what I called it, filigree. I'm like, I thought
scroll work. Call it scroll work.
Yeah, I got scolded last time, so don't feel bad.
I'm not scolding. I'm just trying to.
I'm just messing with you.
You want to make the masters mad? Call it filigree. I guess.
I don't want to see.
I was the first. I was the second to get yelled at. Fawn was the first. Fawn got yelled at by Russ. I got yelled at by Fawn. Forrest got yelled at by Fawn.
I should have podcasted before hitting up Russ.
She was screaming. She was mad. It was real. I was not just kidding.
What'd you say?
Yeah,
Did you use the F word?
Fawn, we're in the middle of the podcast. Don't get mad. Not again.
Calm down. Now, if you're talking about lettering, that's when it's filigree. When it's actually just lines and swirls with lettering, that is filigree.
Yeah, see, like I thought that was filigree on this stuff. I was like, oh, okay.
Nope, when it's like leaves and like three-dimensional shapes, that would be scroll work.
Gotcha. Okay.
I always thought it was filigree up until this last year as well. I really didn't know if there was. Yeah. I always knew the term scroll work. I just didn't know there was a difference. I thought they were kind of like one and the same.
Filigree only applies to lettering.
Going to school today.
Sorry, guys. I wanted to hide lessons, not make them blatant.
I like this. But
that owl is really nice too. Is that a raven on the other side?
The inner side. Yeah.
Those are both really beautiful. I'm looking from all the way across the room.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I love ravens.
It was just like, even like some of the things I picked for this one, I was just like, I didn't know what I was going to do a week before. And I'm like, all right, let's just do this. And he just kind of made it work.
Yep. It all looks great.
Thank you.
What else?
On
we
to the
got?
next.
What else we
This
got,
one
Jordan?
is looking promising. Dun, dun, dun. Sick, dude. Who did this? Tell us about this.
This is Michael Perry. He did this over 4 sessions. He's someone that like I literally just gave an idea and like let him do whatever he does. I feel like he's got like his own style with these like centered out eyes and decay and stuff like that. So I'll just let him have fun with this. He actually did a piece on my outer thigh too.
What?
Oh, that one too.
Yeah.
This one?
But,
Yeah, it's a close up of the
I
lower.
see.
oh yeah.
I didn't realize.
Yep.
Nice.
Who did this lettering?
That one's Ryan Taylor from Texas.
I love this like chaotic, broken lettering. I just love it.
I think they call it like Gothic type lettering, like just like dark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could see that. Yeah,
Yep,
I love that.
I
I
love
love,
it.
this like dark webby stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
that's so fucking dope. Takes a lot of intention just to make things so like
It looks
scribbly.
random and accidental, but it never is.
right. It's so careful. It's such careful attention to like random yet like organized.
It's funny
detail.
too, like just watch, like he did that all just with the needle, like that wasn't drawn on previously.
Nice.
It took
That's
him
impressive.
it took him longer to draw the stencil than it did to tattoo it.
So, but he drew it with a needle.
Yeah, not like the little webby things he did with the needle.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. Totally. Yeah. That's what's
the
up
other
though.
stuff he just drew on, yeah. Which I thought I love watching.
That's awesome. I thought you were saying he just like straight up started out, you know, and kind of got all that lettering just doing. I'm like, damn.
No, yeah, that was all.
Impressive.
Yeah,
Bold.
It was definitely a wonder to watch.
Sick though. I love lettering like that. Seeing lettering like that makes me want to do lettering. That's for sure.
Yeah, and I gave him like a little
appreciating it.
weird spot to cover too, and he just made it work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so cool to see lettering as filler like that, or not even filler, you know, but like to be able to fill in gaps just so perfectly.
I have like a little lettering leg going on down there, so just filling it all with lettering for different people.
Gnarly. We'll go back to that.
So like that hand was the inner knee I was talking about. That was just like brutal.
That was like 7 hours all in one day.
Yeah, that was like my worst session thus far. Like
That's my
It's a
least
big
favorite
area.
area of the leg. After
Yeah.
that, it's all downhill, man.
Yeah.
You
'Cause
have your feet done?
No, not yet.
I feel like it really isn't much worse than the knee.
Really? Okay. Well, that's good to know. Because once he started going like a little bit behind that knee, I was just like, oh.
Yeah, the ditch is nothing to mess with.
Yeah, yeah. But like so this bottom piece on my shin, my foot was swollen for like 3 days just from getting that shin done.
Mm-hmm.
This one
Yep.
down here.
Do you take
Yep.
ibuprofen before and after you get worked on?
Tylenol.
If you're able to take ibuprofen, it'll help with the swelling a lot more.
I was getting like weird ass headaches. So I'm like, let me pop Tylenol so I don't get a headache during the session.
Yeah, try a anti-inflammatory.
All
And
right.
see if that helps a little bit more.
Yeah, anti-inflammatories are always a way to go when it comes to that
Also,
stuff.
you can ice your tattoos after the fact, especially joints. I'll recommend my clients like grab a bag of peas and ice it. Like, don't give yourself frostbite, obviously, but like, you know, as you would ice any other injury.
Right.
Sorry, guys, I gotta use the restroom real fast.
No worries.
You say that one's Michael Perry as well?
Yeah, this is also Michael Perry.
I love the element of like decay that he has in all these pieces. They're like creepy and beautiful at the same time.
I like
that pulls my trigger.
I'm more towards like the beauty side, but I liked the fact of like having decay. So we kind of just stuck with that. So now this whole leg is just going to be like beauty to decay. So like the lower it goes, the more messed up stuff you'll see.
Yep. I think you've got an excellent start, man.
Yeah, that one's really cool.
Thank you. But yeah, I
he's-
gotta figure out. I have some other people in mind to continue with him. This is the leg that I might attempt the collab.
He does a lot of collabs though, right? Like, I
Yeah.
think you've shared a lot of his stuff.
They really backed it. Now they started their own thing because like obviously with the conventions not being going on, they did this like little retreat thing. So they call it like Spring Break 99, which is awesome. And they kind of like do a retreat where they'll have like 6 or 7 artists and they'll all like meet at one location and they just do collabs the whole week.
Nice.
And like you'll get people that'll fly in to get them done, and like they push their art. You don't have to worry about the convention, like all the chaos, and like you're still in a comfortable space. And like I think it's awesome what they're doing with that. And now they're even, so the shop that they work at, Love Machine the City, I think next October they're blocking out like a whole month of just doing collabs.
Nice.
Yeah. So they're having a bunch of artists come into there, and just it's gonna be a whole month of that.
And just like rotating guest artists and things like that.
Yep.
I mean, if they already have like Mashkow, there's a full-time artist. I'm sure they'll be pulling some crazy people from all over the world.
I think Sergey is also there sometimes.
That's awesome.
Rostra, like they got a lot of heavy hitters there. Andy Foe is there now.
All right, I missed it because I was in the bathroom. Who did this piece?
This is Michael Perry too.
Michael Perry. Nice. Oh, it's so sick.
So he's pretty much going to do your entire leg then, right? Like he did the whole outside. And you're having, I guess you said collab maybe.
Outer, and then I'm going to have Luke Palin do like the top hip to like the front thigh. And then Robbie Latos is going to be on there. I have to figure out what I'm going to do with the foot.
It'll
Definitely
come to
go
you.
for it.
Yeah.
What if you just did like a straight on, like decayed foot, like a photorealistic decayed foot?
Good.
You know, like we see all these like robotic bio foot
Right, it's true.
feet tattoos. Like, what if you just like, as the decay comes down, like the flesh just kind of like falls away?
That would be awesome. Really went for it then.
I've smoked a lot of weed today. This happens. Like I just get ideas that like need to happen sometimes. It comes from the weed though. It's not even me. That's how the aliens talk to me.
That's hilarious.
But yeah, I think that would be cool. Like as beautiful as these bone like textures are, like in that jawbone. If you could imagine all of the like
On the foot,
tarsals and metatarsals on the foot, and then like have those textures in the bone, but then all the stringy tendons like rotting away, almost creating its own like scroll work and like leafery kind of shapes, but it would be
Crazy.
tissue.
Damn.
Yuck.
Good idea.
Like I said,
There's a lot of good like biomech
Sweet.
foot.
I like it.
that, like, kind of like, follow the, I don't know, just the shape and anatomy of the foot, like you're saying.
Yep. Love it.
What else do we have?
It's pretty impressive that you said you got tattooed like what, once a month during like the pandemic. I feel like I haven't.
Yeah.
I've been not
And
been holding it up.
This piece is actually the start of it. So like, this is from Big Me's, and he was doing like a cross country trip, like on his motorcycle, like throughout the whole United States.
Nice. I remember.
Yeah, his first stop was in Maryland, and like, I think I emailed him the day before. It was like a last minute thing, and I was like, hey, he actually did a project for BJ Betts, the No Hope project. And this is the drawing he did for that project. And I asked if I could get that original drawing he did for that as a tattoo. And he was like, hell yeah, I'll do it. So that's kind of, yeah.
Cool.
And
He's probably pumped about that.
Oh yeah, he loved it. And this is another complete
So
freehand.
clean.
Yeah. I love watching them freehand. It's just like amazing.
Speaking of lettering artists, did you guys see that Boog passed away recently?
Yes.
I didn't. No.
Man, anytime I'm looking up lettering for anything, like Boog and Mies are the two who like I always like look at for inspiration before I sit down and like start loosening my hand up.
Yeah.
Like I'll look at their stuff and then I'll start doing my like calligraphy exercises before
Like
I do
a
lettering.
lot of lettering artists like paid homage to him, and like how much he used to show them, and like the things like the pre-drawn things that he had to like help people. It's just crazy.
Back in like the 90s, I don't know, it was like maybe like 98 through like 2002, I was obsessed with lettering. Like the majority of my high school years and middle school years, I was obsessed with lettering. So I wasn't even consider being a tattoo artist at the time. It wasn't even on my radar. But like I remember sitting and spending hours looking up Boog's lettering and script, and like I don't know, like he's somebody who even before I was a tattooer, he heavily influenced me. So, but I just, while we were talking about lettering, I had to bring up that we lost him this week.
Yeah. Another tattooer gone.
Yeah, it's a bummer.
What kind of like stuff is were you looking at? Like tattoos or like just lettering samples and like flash sheets or
All of the above. Like he had
anything that was out there?
Yeah, ridiculous.
Yeah, any kind of lettering you could imagine. Like he did stuff that looked like it was like embossed. He did stuff that was like beautiful, scripty, like over the top, elegant. And then he'd slam it right next to this like super hood looking like gothic lettering. I don't know. It was just a nice rhythm and flow to everything. I don't know. I've always said that I think one of the things that makes good lettering good is it should look like music. Like it should have a rhythm to it, and it should be music to the eye.
I've heard you say that. I like that comparison a lot. I think it definitely makes sense, that whole rise and a fall.
Yeah. Yep.
Lettering is such a I grew to like it much more after I went to BJ Betts. Watching him like draw any type of lettering you want freehanded was like the craziest.
That's a skill I don't possess. It's super awesome to see that.
It's unbelievable. And like he did my calf. I think he did like 4 or 5 different lettering styles and drew it in like 15 minutes. I was like, all right, I'm ready. You ready? There's nothing like. So that to me is just like, it's amazing.
It's a whole art in its own. Like if you go to like art school, they'll call it typography, but like some of the best letterers they just enjoy lettering and just enjoy making art out of it. You know, if you look in the graphic design world, like lettering is incredibly crucial on what you're trying to say and how you're trying to say it. Yep. So there's like a whole psychology to lettering. And then, you know, we've got some of the best in the world, like in our tattoo community. And that's, you know, they're great. I don't know if any of these guys are formally trained, but they're always the ones, like, even when I was in art school, they're the ones that I would like pull up and look at. And I'd look like at what lettering styles they laid next to one another and how they looked beside one another. I don't know. It's crazy how much lettering influences. When
I first started tattooing, I was really, really into lettering. I love lettering now, but I don't practice it like I used to. When I first started tattooing, I was just like, loved working on lettering, loved working on all that. But I kind of fell out with script work. So I don't really jump to that when I'm drawing, but man, I just love that Gothic lettering. It just kills me. But your lettering, Big Me's lettering, like those are,
classic.
If I had to describe what I like in lettering, it's that.
That's exactly it. Big Me's, BJ Betts, and Boog. Those are the ones that I always like jump to. And there are other great letters. Have you seen Keith's lettering? Cam?
Yeah.
Cam, who works with us at Red Tree.
Yep.
He doesn't do a lot of
He goes by Cam
often.
or Keith. I never.
Yeah.
I either call him both all the time. He's got 2 names.
His lettering's pretty beautiful as well. Like it's impressive.
His black work is just very impressive. I love it.
It's graceful.
And you always know it's going to heal up really good.
Mm-hmm. He's got some beautiful lettering as well.
Yep.
But what else do we have? We haven't gone through all of them, have we?
I'm just enjoying the plasma ball here.
I like the plasma ball.
It's pretty chaotic on screen there. I like that. Let me get you a screen share. Chaotic in the best way.
Forrest, I noticed your rat tail's still looking glorious.
Yeah, it is kind of running loose today, so it's
I just love it.
Running loose, on the loose.
So this was this one. This is what I was telling you about. BJ Betts did this, and he drew that in like 15, 20 minutes, and it's actually a quote from Tony Stark.
Nice.
Yeah, from like his speech at the end of Endgame when he's like talking to his daughter as he already passed away. He was just like,
yeah. I just watched that.
Yeah, but no, I just
see that's so filigree, guys.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
There we go.
Yep.
Very well done, filigree. Look at those little guys. I just love those little like
Look
one-liners.
at the swoop on the end.
3-tighters.
Insane.
One-liners and 3-tighters.
Yep. And he just, like I said, some of the stuff he did another piece on me. Like he just did it with the needle. Like again, like just no drawing. Just this will look good here.
Yeah, I love that.
It all flows together really well. Like all of your script seems to.
Yep. and that's what so like the tattoo next to it was like my first like I call it the lax bro tat. Like I was in college playing lacrosse, and like, let me get my last name on my calf. And I was like, how am I gonna make this fit? Because it's so dark and like it's actually not done bad. So I'm like, let me just try to do a bunch of lettering around it. And so far they're making it work.
Nice.
Hell yeah. Fuck yeah.
Yep.
It's definitely coming out to be a sick, like just lettering sleeve.
Yeah. I have a couple people in mind. This is actually a dude in Korea that like I'm dying to get from.
Are you going to do some crazy color lettering to transition up into the color part?
I have yet to figure out how I'm going to transition. That's like my biggest, like, I don't know how I'm going to make that work.
Do something around the knee that'll like maybe a color lettering piece that where it'll transition one word, like maybe black lettering, but a color background.
Yeah. Maybe, yeah, that's true. This is Courtney Raimondi. She goes by Blood of Wolves.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. This is, I think, like 3-4 years ago now. And I love the Mighty Duck. So I'm like, can you do like a Mighty Duck character for me? She did
Very well done. Super crispy.
Look at the little details on his uniform.
Yeah.
Right? Look at those,
you can see
those
see
old sticks.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Stitches on there.
I love it, man.
That was a fun one.
Little reflections. Top
Yeah.
it off perfectly.
Hell yeah.
There's his arms together. That looks really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Always like to see what it looks like when you actually got a shirt on.
Right.
Well, that's how you're gonna be seen most of the time.
Do you think you'll eventually do your hands, or are you gonna keep them open?
So this is like my biggest gripe. So like, I don't know what I'm gonna be doing in like a couple years. So like, to me, I feel like I should just fill out the rest of my body and save that like last.
It's not a race.
Yeah.
That can always be the like, I'll get to it when I get to it.
Yeah. Granted, I think sleeves look so much better when the hands are done, but I just don't know. Like, there's like too much unknowing for me to like.
What do you do for a living?
I actually am unemployed right now. No, I worked for Macy's.
Okay.
And then during the pandemic, they laid off like 40,000 people. So we were one of those locations.
What would you want to do?
My dream would be to have my own shop.
Tattoo shop? That's awesome.
Yeah. Just like, I mean, I have management experience. Like, obviously, I'm not a tattooer, but maybe if I went in with somebody and kind of did that whole side, that would be my dream.
That's what's up, man.
I mean, you're clearly passionate enough. It always gets scary when somebody that doesn't know anything about tattooing is like, I want to own a tattoo shop.
Agreed.
But like, clearly you've built relationships with the artists who have worked on you. So it's not like you don't know what you're getting yourself into.
Right.
And I do think that like one of the things that made tattooing easier for me early on, because I took over a studio like 6 months in.
Okay.
But I had a lot of management experience in my background as well. So it was really easy to like look at a studio and see it as a clean slate and then tear it down and build it back up.
Different form. Absolutely.
But what'd you do for Macy's?
I was a sales manager.
Okay.
Yeah. It was like day to day, everything you could think of. So it's kind of like it would correlate to being like a shop manager.
Yep.
So.
No, before I tattooed, I worked as a traveling manager, and I like set up and opened stores, and there were a couple of times I had to close stores. That kind of sucked, but
I had to do that recently.
Yeah, but having that in your background and like giving you a little bit of that experience, how to deal with people and how to run business. And, ultimately a tattoo studio is a high end it should be a high end retail art business. Right. And if you deal with it like that, I think I think you'd have a good, you'd have a good luck. I think you've got a lot of stuff in your background that would be helpful.
I would thank you.
Yeah. So my next question is, what's preventing you from doing it?
I guess capital, and just like, I know that I can't do it by myself. Like I would need somebody that would be willing to do it with me. Mm-hmm. So I think that would be like finding the right person that's like, can bring the art part of it to it. And I could bring the business part of it.
Throw it out in the universe loud enough and somebody will hear it.
True.
Yeah, with your like network of like traveling and getting all these like tattoos, as long as you like keep an ear out and just like opportunities are bound to, because you're gonna keep getting tattooed and like obviously keep surrounding yourself around these people. So I'm sure an opportunity where you fit. I mean, you have sales manager experience, so like that's pretty much perfect. Like I mean, for a lot of aspects of tattooing and just running a shop, if that's your goal.
Yep.
Could definitely be cool.
Agreed.
Fuck it, man.
Sounds like you're doing the right thing, like just focusing on getting tattooed and enjoying it, like, making the most of it.
I think like starting this ink collabs thing too will just like, it's more of like a networking thing too. Like I said, we want to do the conventions and like we already spoke to a bunch of artists that are saying like if we do them, like let them know, they'll absolutely tattoo out of the booth and like they just want to meet different artists, work with different artists. Like I think like a big networking thing would be huge.
Same with like this podcast as well.
Yeah.
I've always had an idea. Do with this what you will. But the idea is to have a shop that's like basically like an Airbnb for tattoo artists. Like bring your machines, set up, go. Mm-hmm. So it could be like the meeting place for collabs. It could be the meeting place for like if client lives one part of the country, artist lives another part of the country, we could meet in the middle and you know meet a few clients that way. Absolutely. But I think that'd be really rad to have like almost like a permanent studio that was constantly a revolving door of like traveling cream of the crop artists, where it could be like instead of like an hourly fee or a percentage, it would just be like, oh, it's this much a day. Show up. All you got to bring is your machines. We'll have all the other materials. So travel light.
That would be sick.
But that's been an idea that's like a back burner idea. And I think that's kind of what I had in mind as a long-term goal when I had my Michigan studio. But then a better opportunity presented itself for me to work out while I was up there. But anyways, do what you will with that idea. You know, it wouldn't take a very big space to have a studio to accommodate 2 artists at a time.
Right.
And then just manage a schedule who's going to be in town when.
Right.
I think that's a great idea, honestly.
And if you're already in sales and you know how to promote and you can promote and you've already got a few platforms to promote on when artists are traveling, they would be guaranteed to fill those spots.
Absolutely.
You know? Especially if you've got standards for the kind of artist that comes through. Because then you'd get like, oh, I want to be worked on by any artist who's in town. Like, I'm down. I know they're going to be good. Mm-hmm. I think there's a lot. I think there's potential.
And ultimately, like, you know, like what styles people are looking for, like what people are interested in, like, and the fact that there's so many different types of people, I mean, it could make sense. You could always have something new, people always willing to come.
Yep. Tattoo spaces don't have to be huge. They can be tiny and cozy and not super expensive.
Those are going to be my favorite ones to work at.
Tiny and cozy and hole in the wall.
Well, and Red Tree.
And Red Tree.
Red Tree is like that for a bunch of people, though. It's like everyone's got their cozy space.
Yeah.
So it's
but I also love like small private studios and stuff when I go guest spot. Like that's always nice. So it's nice to have like that guest spot friendly studio, like you're talking about.
Yeah, it is kind of crazy to go from being like the one open room for Red Tree to like this huge tattoo megaplex where everything's all like right there at our fingertips. Like we each have our own private space, but it's just a huge, like, you know, you're walking into something big when you walk into into our studio.
It's like a tattoo temple, honestly. It really is. It's just the most
perfect for like bouncing ideas too, though.
That's what I was gonna
that
say.
hallway of everyone's like.
Oh man, like I couldn't even tell you. It's amazing. That's why
Marty asked my opinion on something the other night.
Always gotta be a good feeling.
Marty Holcomb asked my opinion. It doesn't even matter what the question was. He asked.
That's awesome.
That was a good time.
Nice. Yep. Anything out of Marty's wonderful. I love it. This is a wizard.
Yep.
So what's like your oh sorry, I was gonna say, what's your goal for like the Ink Collab Instagram page? Like, 'cause that's kind of breeding that community you guys were talking about of like all these artists who want to collab and collectors who actually are going for that.
So what we did was we just got the logo made just so like we could like brand it a little bit, like so like people understand it. Like if they do go to a convention, they'll recognize it. Like, hey, that's this page. It's like we still want to do and share like all those people, like different artists' work to showcase them, but like we want to be able to, like, for those artists to reach out and be like, hey, can I come to your booth and can I participate in one of these collabs and stuff like that? We want to be like that kind of like that outlet, I guess you should say.
Yeah, that would be awesome to
That's
kind of even
awesome.
like shop out some artists who like want to like something you're interested in, and like I don't know, just creating a unique collab tattoo.
Ultimately, like people are from all over. So like if I have say one person from New York that's wanting to do a collab and they decide like there's someone coming in from Australia and they're like, hell yeah, let's do it. Like it's just they're both going to the convention anyway. So why not just try to like set it up? I'm sure you'll get somebody that's there willing to do it. Like so that's kind of the goal, or the direction, I should say.
I feel like you should be the first one to do it since you haven't had a collab yet. When conventions are back, you're gonna be the first one on the table.
I'm like strictly in the shop. Like nobody's gonna see how I'm doing.
You know what's funny?
Yeah.
Is I always feel like I handle tattoos horribly myself, but I get told otherwise. So maybe that's just something we all have. Like we all think that we just are horrible and don't want people to see like how bad we sit.
Oh yeah. I mean, I feel that same way. Oh man. But like I constantly like I totally think I'm I sit the worst, and then you know everyone around me is like, you didn't look that bad. And it's like the inner battle was there.
Yeah.
It felt outward.
Yeah.
I think I compare myself to like what other people do, and I was just like, there's no way. I know that there's no way I can do that. Like I said, my friend, full back, 2 days, 24 hours. Like 3 people. Like I wouldn't be able to. I'd be done after day 1.
I can't imagine myself getting 2 people at once. And
I just posted the other day, like for people to submit like their craziest
set. Not that much worse.
I would totally be willing to do it.
It's not that much worse.
I just think it's a lot. My back was a lot. It was a lot to get through for sure. It gets easier every time, but it's like the PTSD is there more prevalently each time. So it's like I know what I'm getting into each time. So it's like the anticipations for it's like, oh man, yep, I know it's gonna hurt. It's like the realization of the pain is more each time. But it does get easier each time if time goes faster.
I don't know, Fawn was like talking about how like consecutive days, it's kind of just like at that point gets easier. So like you always see people like kind of pushing like what you think is possible. Like isn't Guy kind of like known? Easier. Isn't like Guy known for like doing multiple like long day, like what's even possible, like 3-4 days?
Yeah,
like,
he says he's told me that 3 days is like his, like he doesn't really like to do more than 3 days, and 3 days can be kind of a lot.
I just feel like the body is going to be so zapped after that.
Right. And as an artist, I imagine, it's like you run out of things to talk about, get to like like,
all right, you know me too well.
Right.
Leave.
3 days are my limit. I've had people, and like, I know I don't like getting to that point where people are so beaten up that like now I'm working on like an empathy level where like every time I put the needle down, I know how bad it hurts you. Like, and you're reacting so bad in your mind. I know your mind's trying to make it through, but like those third day pains, it's just like a shock to the system each time. And I can't, it makes it a little bit more difficult as an artist. I can definitely sit and just, be like, first couple days, empathy is just not as high, but that third day, I start to relate just a little bit more because I know what it's like.
Oh,
I don't think I could do 3.
No, I can't do 2 anymore.
So a few years ago, I saw, let's see, how did this go? I had 3 big appointments back to back to back appointments, 3 appointments. So I got worked on by Russ at Tattoo the Lou. I got my armpits started by Guy. So that's both sides, 2 days back to back. And then I had my session with Adam and Ty at Hell City. I can't remember which order those went in, but they were two weeks between each one.
Really?
My body was so depleted.
Oh, I can't imagine.
It was not enough time for me to recover in between. I just felt like by that 3rd session, I felt hit by a bus. My whole body felt hit by a bus, and like my muscles were sore all over. I just felt tired all the time. Like I could tell my body was super depleted and like just burning all of its energy trying to heal nonstop for those like 6 weeks. So I don't think I would sign myself up for that kind of abuse again, just because I really like felt it. It really took me a long time to recover after that last one. Like usually I bounce back in like 4 to 5 days. I'm good to go. But it was too much, too close together for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever had any like big appointments real close together?
No, only small appointments. Like maybe like I think the Big Me's and BJ Betts I got like shoot like a day and a half after each other.
Oh,
So like
really?
I went to Maryland, came back, went to PA.
But it was still pretty much just one heel.
Yeah,
right?
it was one.
Felt like one.
Yeah, and they were each like only like 3 to 4 hour sessions, so it was like one regular day.
Have you had any sessions real close together, Forrest?
Yeah, well, I mean, like, let's see, on my chest, we did Friday and Sunday. I don't know. Oh yeah, like to start my leg, we did Hell City. I think it was like 2017. I think we did like Friday and Saturday, I believe. So I've done like consecutive days several times, I guess.
But you didn't ever stack any of those back to back?
No, not really. I would usually
Good
just
call.
do like every
Good
couple
call.
months. Like my leg, I feel like I always fuck up the timeline and feel like I forget sessions because like it was kind of just like, it's more like once I'm healed, I'm hitting up Brian, like, all right, when's our next one? Let's go. So I don't know. I like, it depends if I'm traveling too. Like I just try to get as many days as I can. Like, I don't know. I'm like thinking of like how possible it even is, like for multiple artists, like with the collab, like for my own sleeve, even like, could I do 3 days? Would that be too much because it is multiple people?
Mm.
But like like I was saying earlier, like the efficiency of the collabs like makes me want to push it, because what is like 3 days with 2 artists? Like what could the possible outcome be?
Right.
It is nice to only have one heel instead of 3 heels.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've never done that 3rd day, but like this, I don't know. I feel like a lot of getting tattooed is about like preparation and like experience, like you were saying, but it's also about like the mindset. Like as long as you're just like,
I think if you prepare yourself before it, and you like exactly like that, if you jump into it with like, I know I'm gonna do 3 days, we're gonna do a solid ass 3 days. So those couple months you're waiting for your tattoo, have that in mind the entire time. I feel like you just create this space to be able to endure it in your head. But if you were to be like, you want to do you want to do an extra 2 days, or hey, you want to do an extra day or something, like that's where I would be like, that sounds really nice. Oh shit, I kind of want to snatch up this opportunity.
Like, nah, I wasn't ready.
But
I wasn't ready.
That's when you probably you'll have the worst time, mentally to deal with it. I just feel like that time to mentally prepare is so important, or at least for me, a big factor. And I really enjoy it when I have to jump into them more quickly, or like even within a week. Like it almost isn't enough time for my mind to like truly prepare for it. But when I have a solid like 2-3 months. I don't know. I love it. That might be asking too much, but that's also that's pretty normal for most artists.
Yeah, I'd say about like 3 months. So I love just getting like that appointment booked. Then like you kind of have that timeline so you can prepare.
The best part,
So it's like the whole process of it really is really fun.
Right. 3 solid
we were
months.
talking about how shitty traveling stuff was.
My mind, my body.
The mindset thing though, like you were just touching on, is incredible. Like I was talking to, and I actually asked if I could post it the other day to him, Andy Foe. I don't know if you saw his story, but like he did 7 days in a row with his brother tattooing him. He did neck,
no way,
torso, ribs, 7 days in a row. I think he was close to like 50 hours.
That's crazy.
I just don't understand like mentally how he got through. Like I need to ask him like what he did to put himself through that. Watching the video,
there are some like full body piece type artists who maybe can do like marathon ones like that, because it's like such like all over the body.
And if you complete an area and then move on to the next, I could see it. And like if your artist was diligent about like keeping you clean all day, you've got a whole week of having somebody clean you and moisturize you 30 times a day. So I could see it. Yeah, I could see it, but like, it would take so much mental preparation, and
I don't
like take your vitamins, eat your greens, drink all your water, maybe some Pedialyte every day. Like before and after.
Basically of tattooing. What was it, like 7 days? You said 7-10 days, something?
Yep. I don't get it. And he just like, look, I'm watching the videos and he's just like laying there, like after he got his ribs done, just like on his neck.
Those are the kinds of things you think about when you're in the middle of getting your tattoo, like, and it hurts really bad.
Yes,
and then you're like thinking of videos like that, and you're like, oh, that son of a that strong son of a bitch makes me feel like such a little bitch right now.
Yep.
It's kind of like an exhilarating feeling because everyone thinks it sucks, but like you're the one sitting there taking it. So like it's like
Right.
It's a weird feeling.
It's like a really intense, like psychedelic trip too. It's like or just like a really wild dream. It's something no one really knows until they're, in that experience. You can't really share it or tell anyone about it.
Mhm.
I mean, you can say, yeah, it hurts, but like what that feeling really felt like to you and what that was really like to go through. Yeah, I mean, it's just totally on you. It's your experience and it's going to be different for everybody.
Yeah.
That was a close up of the neurons firing while you were in pain.
Yeah, that's what it's like.
Let's go back. This is what it feels like to be tattooed.
Jordan's brain on tattoo.
Oh.
Who'd you get to do your logo? That looks like some cool script too.
So his name is Ivan Gaimone, and he's from Argentina.
Nice.
And yeah, he's like a vector artist, and like he does all this crazy stuff on everything on his iPad. And he actually did a logo for another brand that I had started, and he's just awesome to work with. Like his time zone, he'll like answer you at any given time, like give you updates. And now there's a bunch of artists after me posting like that have gone to him just for their own logos. So you see, yeah, he's a cool dude.
Sounds like you've fallen like completely into like the wormhole of art though. Like you're all over Russia, Argentina. Like
Absolutely.
it's pretty crazy.
When your tiny bubble becomes the entire world.
Yeah.
Isn't that cool?
Yep.
Every artist imaginable.
I always say it's like a tight-knit community because like someone knows somebody else that you know within it. But
It's like 2.5 degrees of separation.
Yeah, but it's also just like huge. Like, oh yeah, I know him, but like he's in Australia. Like, like, I don't know. It's weird to think about.
It's pretty awesome that you're just broadening your horizons like that.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Do you have your passport? It sounds like you're going to be traveling for a lot of sessions.
Yes, I do.
Nice. Have you done that yet, or is it all like in the States?
No, all the states so far.
Where all have you been? It sounds like it's mostly East Coast, like you were saying, right?
It was PA, Maryland, Jersey, I want to say Connecticut, and North Carolina.
Nice. And those are all just like private studios for the most part, it sounded like?
No. So yesterday was the first time I was ever at a private studio. And all my, they were all just like, so Made to Last in North Carolina is probably like one of the coolest shops I've been to. It's just like very like family oriented. Like it's so professional. It's in this like old school castle looking building. It's like, it's unbelievable.
That's Michael Perry's place, you said, right?
No, Matt Bagwell. The guy,
okay.
Yeah. And they have a lot of like traditional artists there. Right in the heart of Charlotte. It really is so awesome.
Seems like North Carolina has a ton of good artists. Like I've been hearing a lot of people from that area.
Down there. Yeah, there's a bunch of guys down there. And it's nice. It's a nice area. But
Nice.
I can't wait to travel abroad. I think what we need to do is make it an excuse, and maybe we'll just go and like pump both of our purposes. Let's go to Europe together.
Yep,
all four of us.
We'll do some interviews.
there you go.
There's this one shop in Moscow I've been like obsessed with. They have like all these insane artists, and you're talking about like a collab shop. I wish I could just like
go there and
complete the rest of my suit because like all of them are insane. Like
it's insane.
There are so many rad artists in Russia right now.
Yeah,
it's nuts. And their art is so different because I think they started with art on such a big scale first, and then transitioned in instead of like apprenticing and then learning the art. I think it's like most of them were painters, and now they're gonna do tattoo.
They value art so differently over there. Like for us, we take art and art history as like an elective class in middle school and high school, like if we want to.
Right.
For them, it's required, just like reading and math and science. Like it is required for them. So I think they just value art differently. Therefore, like the standard is so much higher. Like if you're gonna be an artist, you've gotta like either do it the best or do something totally new and different.
Right.
And all of this color, like full color, like painterly realism that's coming out of Russia just blows my mind. Like I look at it and it's like, that's where I want to be in 2 years. Like, that's what I'm working towards. Like every tattoo I'm getting.
I feel that way about the black work there too.
Yeah.
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 Russia's just killing it.
They have a guy, do you know Ilya Kaskad?
Um,
No, I don't.
He does like all ornamental black work. He's also at Love
nope,
Machine,
I don't know that one.
and it's that same scale. It's just like when you watch how big of pieces he's doing and like how it looks, it doesn't look like stuff that's normally from here. Like it's just different.
Yeah, I feel like that's true. I can like see a post. I'm like, God, this guy's got to be from Russia, and I go to their profile. I'm like, yep, Moscow or something like that. Like, it's pretty.
I thought you were gonna say Ilya Fom. Do you guys know who he is?
Okay.
That's who I thought you were talking about. He does that like super like realistic stuff that like pixelates into like soft out of focus, and then it'll have like a layer of hyper realistic water droplets in front of all of it. It's like each layer is mind blowing, and then he adds another mind blowing trick on top of it, and it's like.
Like a 30-layer stencil.
Yeah. If I could have a dream collab, I would love for him and Samarina Nika to do my left arm together. If not, I'll just have Samarina do the whole thing. I'm sure the opportunity will present itself. I say it all the time, so hopefully universe is listening.
It'll happen for sure.
Yeah, I got to get my passport just for when that opportunity comes along.
You never know. Should she ever come to the States?
I don't know, but I did get to be the first one that Tofi worked on in the United States. So maybe I could like bribe her with waterfalls, and I don't know what. I don't think Ohio's waterfalls are as cool as Russia's waterfalls. I really think I want to go there and have her work on me.
That is
but
true.
If I could get her to come here, that would be rad too. I'd do whatever I could to make it happen.
Tofi's style with those like bricks that he does, or like they blow.
Oh yeah. Tofi is a character too. Like he's just mind blowing as a person. It's like he's so casual about the most mind blowing things where it's like, okay, I get it. You're good at everything without even trying. I get it, Tofi. And then he boasts about being the heaviest hand in Poland. Also, thanks, Tofi.
Not what you want to hear.
But it was fun. It was a fun 9.5 hours. We got to hear Tofi and Russ talk about touching tips the whole time.
Touching tips.
Touching tips. It's like, guys, joke's over. It's not cool anymore. I'm over it. It just hurts.
It's fun.
But yeah, after like being fortunate enough to be the first person that he worked on in the United States, like it's possible. Like, if I throw it out there and they know I'm interested and either one of them are ever headed this way, like it makes things easier when you've got a client waiting,
Mm-hmm.
Seems like travel is starting to pick up a little bit, like at least as far as guest spotting and stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
Do any of you guys have like deposits down or appointments coming up or anything like that?
I have one down with Josh Duffy that actually got canceled during COVID.
Oh, really?
So
Just keep getting pushed back?
Yeah, I got to reschedule that one, but that's it for now.
I was going to get my belly started with Mike Cole, and I was actually just thinking I should reach back out to him and say, like, maybe early next year, let's go ahead and plan to get that going again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be done with all this dental stuff before the end of the year, so I'll start putting money back into tattoos after that.
I gotta get in with a guy. Still, I haven't made my appointment yet. I'm just kind of holding on to my money for a minute. I got some dental stuff too, and some other. I got some things to take care of before I go drop.
What's his waiting list typically like?
I mean, right now he's been doing a couple months. We'll see when I get a hold of him where he's at. But it seems like he's kind of doing the like 3 months booked out thing.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. Like when you hear some people are like, "Oh, 2 years," and I'm just like,
that's too much. Oh man, I couldn't. If I did that, my life would be so stressful.
Yeah.
If I was booked out that long, and I can only imagine doing. If I had all my work pinpointed to know exactly what it was going to be for the next 2 years, that doesn't give you a whole lot of opportunity to really change.
Yeah.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Really,
like, I want to start doing something different.
Right. Or you want to go on a vacation or something like that, or you want to do something, or something comes up and you need time, and then the person needs to be rescheduled,
but
and
they
then
waited 2 years.
They waited 2 years, and now you got to reschedule another 2 years out because you're not thinking of individual people when you're scheduling all your books.
That's too much stress and pressure.
I always wonder like what percentage of that even like flakes anyways, because that's a lot of people waiting a long time anyways. So there's got to be a higher percentage of cancellations.
Yeah, I think that's why it's a thing though, because like you're taking a deposit from all those people.
That's
right. Some people just like slurping up those deposits.
Yeah.
Just like sweet. Let me get
Yep.
You know, what's
You
that?
want to
Like
take a deposit
20,
for 2 years
20
worth?
yeah, $200 deposits times 20 a month times 12.
I've been doing things a little bit different the way I'm booking, and this was actually kind of based on some advice that was given to me by Russ while I was working, getting worked on and working down there, and you know, some advice from Derb over the years. But I'm trying to keep like 15 to 20 projects on my books at a time. So that's roughly a month and a half worth of work. So where I'm at is my clients might wait a few to several months for a consultation, but as soon as we have that consultation, I see them like 3 weeks later.
Yeah.
So for me, the wait is for the consultation. And if any time you want to get it done sooner, we'll recommend whoever is like, you know, we've got a huge network of really good artists here in Columbus. So we'll recommend an appropriate artist. But it's really made my life so much less stressful to just have like a handful of people to be accountable to. And it makes it really easy if somebody needs to reschedule or if I need to reschedule or anything like that, because it's only a few weeks out. It's not months and months out. So downside,
I run by the same rules. I book up a month to 2 months.
Yep. Downside is you might wait several months for your turn with a consultation with me because I can only complete so many projects in any given month because my work is so big. But when you finally have your consultation with me, we then get the ball rolling and the ball keeps rolling. So there's not like a several month gap unless, you know, something comes up for my client.
I think client wise, that's better too. Cause you know, like, all right, now you're going to try to focus on getting my project done. I don't have to get like one session done and then wait another year.
Yeah, and when projects lose momentum like that, you lose the spark of the idea.
I won't even know the colors I was using. You know, was that a Bermuda blue? Was that a peacock blue?
Yeah.
Like, you know, shit, I used a lot of it, so I really need to figure that one out.
Were you this tan last time?
Right, and it looks right.
Are you the same color?
Right, and getting tan can totally, I mean, take a Bermuda, can take one blue to another blue just because, you know, you got a little more orange in your skin or something.
Was that blue or teal?
Yeah, good to keep coming back, nice and quick.
Right.
Nice and quick, like.
Yeah, I like seeing people. I mean, and there's no pressure to see people every month, but like every month or every 6 weeks or every 2 months. But just so the project stays fresh and we're constantly like, there's always momentum on it. Like that's what I like. It keeps me excited. It keeps my client excited.
I always hope within like 3 months. I would love to see people always back. I mean, if you do month to month, that's perfect. And I totally like to offer up like, you know, one day, like you'll be my Tuesday every, you know, once a month, you know, until we have this finished.
Yeah. People that need Saturdays, I usually keep them on a monthly schedule.
What?
Project better too. Cause like if you're getting the work done sooner, you're not having one thing that's healed. Then you're going back into it. Now it looks so like the layers are off. Like,
yeah,
that's why I like, if I'm doing a big project, I'd rather get it done in like a month or two.
Right. And it saves a lot of extra work because as you know, the blacks, they're going to be a little bit uneven as they heal. You know, if you got stuff that's healed the whole year and you're coming back again with other blacks and stuff, you're going to want to come back through a lot of the other blacks, probably a little bit more so than you might have in the first place. Who knows?
Yeah. Just to make it all cohesive.
Blacks, any color, all of it. But it's not the end of the world. Just come back, please.
That's true.
I got a couple pieces out there that I've started a long time ago, and like people post the tattoo, they love the like half done bio piece that they got on them, but it's just like I know it looks cool right now. It's like please come back for those last like 2-3 sessions. It still needs so much more. But they like, you know, it'd be like an outline and just basic like gray shading when it was just going to be like super detailed piece. And granted, it looks awesome the way it is, but
it's just the start.
Yeah, I'm like, there's not even there's not even a drop of black in it yet. Come back, man. I got one piece I'm thinking of in particular, man. I love it. I absolutely love it. It's like spider bio, but with no spider legs, more like the eyes and the mandibles. Kind of make it that way, and like a and like this like forest of like trichomes and things.
Nice.
But it's all just like super bowed out knee.
But light.
What if I can pull up that picture actually?
Sounds like you guys get some pretty chill like clients though, like not giving you too many problems, just easy going.
Oh man, I can tell you what, I'm so grateful for my clientele.
That's probably part of like being a registry
endlessly
though.
grateful.
I've been there for a while.
I was not always that way. I mean, I've had, every walk of client for sure up until now. Even the past couple of years before Red Tree, it was really my clients were really starting to sort out, and it really was kind of bringing my work into focus and like what I wanted to do with my work and starting to help me develop a style.
I feel like that's
And then when I came to Red Tree, I kind of wondered how building clientele was going to be out here. I didn't have anyone I tattooed yet in Ohio. And as soon as I came here, everyone who started coming to me, they were really cool. Just even if whatever walk of life they're from, they're really cool. And, even if they don't know really what they're talking about or what they want, like something about them that makes them an awesome client.
Mm-hmm.
And I never had bad experiences like, oh man, this person was just like fun. Oh my God, this has been the worst day of my life. I'm talking to this person. It's never like that. And I just couldn't be more thankful.
I think when you have a defined style too, like people are willing to go to you because of it. Like there's less of that like back and forth because they're there for your style work.
Yes.
Like
I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
Jordan's pulling up some of his masterpieces. We haven't really seen too much of your work yet, Jordan.
Yeah, we'll show
We're going to start sharing some of that. Here we go.
Jesus.
This stuff is nuts.
Well, here's some recent stuff. I don't know how tiny this is on the Zoom screen right now.
How long did that take?
That is 3. We did that in 3 sessions.
Jesus.
Yeah, it looks awesome.
The amount of lines is insane.
Oops. Yeah, it's actually a lot of it's just dot work. I think for the most part. No, it's all dot work, but it definitely moving in from that blue center out into black.
Gotcha.
So there's probably like 4 or 5 different blues I use to fade this in, one to the other.
She better come back to do the other side now.
Yeah, she's actually.
She's committed.
She's got
She's
she's
an
got
awesome
2 more
client.
days in the book for next month. She's already paid
Nice.
ahead of time and everything. We're
Perfect.
finishing this entire leg like this.
Love to see that.
Here's another booty piece.
Jesus. The line work blows my mind too. It's almost like a lettering thing for me. Like, I guess I can't understand it, so that's why I blows my mind. Like, I can't comprehend.
Oh yeah.
Did you get anyone to do that chest piece that you want to do yet?
This one?
Yeah.
No, not yet.
Damn.
Not yet.
Damn.
It looked good on a dude too. But I really hope someone does come in for this.
That'll look
I
really
did a
cool as
painting.
the
This
arms
is actually
raise.
based on a painting that I did, but I kind of changed it up
Damn.
so it'd fit a body. But I think it would just look so cool.
That's
I'd probably change the neck up though. It's a little light and airy. I wouldn't want to do that much white.
I don't know.
But-
People might be more attracted to that though, because
But,
it's
like-
on the neck, so it's not like super visible.
That's,
It's kinda
you
a
know,
Put like a
light
mind tree coming up in the throat.
white- yeah.
Right, something bright and glowing there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Forrest, you got a point. Well, this is the one I was talking to you guys about. This bio piece.
Yep.
Damn, nice.
We got so much more to do. This is all we've done.
Oh, because like the flow's already going, so he's probably
Yeah, I was gonna
that's
say,
cool.
Yeah. You see
Right.
where it's going. Damn.
Yeah, that's fucking coming
How
together.
many
cool,
sessions was
Look at
that?
that swollen ass knee. This was 2 days.
Wow. God bless.
Black and gray, man. We fly through it.
Dog.
Dang, you guys were moving.
I think we did do a base layer of green that's glowing behind it.
Gotcha. Yeah, that knee is sick.
Yeah, I loved doing this whole like opening here along the
yeah.
back. There's this bio piece.
That's sick.
Look at that slimy stuff.
Yep.
Look at that tentacle. Disgusting.
I actually I did this out at in Las Vegas at Joseph Heff's
Mhm.
studio. Reverent. Yeah, Reverent. Awesome place. Super awesome studio.
There's a couple artists now I feel like that are just going towards that style completely. Like,
This dark black and gray
Yeah, like
scary
that.
stuff.
yep. Like, that's it. Like, that's all they're doing. It's
That's
just
really cool.
ridiculous.
I could live a life where I was only doing that. I really, really love this like weird, scary stuff. I got this little skull thing there.
Yep.
I love
You
it.
say you have an appointment coming up with Josh Duffy, isn't he? Like, he's
Yeah.
pretty much in that same genre.
Yep.
Are you
It's
just
like,
kind of letting him do his thing? I'm sure he'll just probably freehand if that's the case.
Yeah, I just don't know where. Like, so
Oh,
like,
really?
now that I did my like inner leg, since his appointment was canceled, I had like 6 appointments after that. So like now I don't know what spot I'm gonna give him.
What about your ribs? Do you have anything on your torso yet?
I haven't touched my torso yet. Nope.
I feel like, I mean, and it's a big commitment, but I feel like when he does like whole rib panels on people, I just feel like they always turn out so beautiful.
Yep. Absolutely.
I feel like he just uses that piece of the anatomy so like gracefully.
Him and Victor Portugal remind like those two to give big scale to make sense.
Here's what Guy's got going on my back.
Jeremiah Barb is another one of those like black and gray guys that works giant and beautifully.
That is insane.
Dude, Guy is killing it.
I don't even see skin.
Where is like the cover up parts of it? Is it just like the shoulder?
So my shoulder blades right here, this was actually a big black tribal Polynesian panel. You see how this little like Karoo spiral comes in here?
Yeah.
He was trying to work with that opening.
But
yeah, this was just some super dark tribal. And then over on this other side was it was actually a big alien. It was like an alien gray face that was turned into a sugar skull.
That's insane.
It looks amazing what he did with it though.
Yeah, he covered it. He killed it. I love these tendril things.
That's crazy.
So real.
Does he work quick?
Sure feels real. I mean, 4 sessions, we got this much done so far. I
think he's incredibly efficient.
I think
he
it might
works
take
in
me
layers,
longer.
but he is efficient. No wasted time whatsoever.
I like the flow of that one.
Thank you. I did this back in Michigan. I really love this. Love this one though.
It's like a cool idea to like fill the armpit too.
Yeah.
Like
this one always reminds me of a camera aperture, like the way they dial in.
Right. Like a robotic sphincter.
Exactly. Yes, that's exactly what you would call that. Nice, Jordan.
So this is one I made, and I made this in VR. So like I got this VR sculpting program and did that and set this whole scene and painted this in there. And then, but I turned that into this painting that's what, like 4 foot, 5 foot by 4 or 5 foot by like 3 or 4 foot.
Damn.
How big are those canvases?
3 by 4 probably. I think you're right. In that ballpark.
Do you use ZBrush for any of these?
I'm actually starting to mess with it a little bit. I've messed with it in the past, but I actually got this program that I use inside VR, and it's called Adobe Medium. And it's just as good as ZBrush, and you can 3D print the files. They're all 3D files that you can work with for any program.
I recently just started some artists using it now, like watching how in depth it is and like the different things you could actually create. It's insane.
Oh, it's insane.
Yeah.
So that idea that I made there was actually based off of this painting that I created. So I did this painting and then just wanted to make it into a 3D, wanted it to be real.
Yeah.
So then created,
I'd like to take this time to show off our logo. Jordan and I spent a lot of time designing this. We actually went through about 15 versions. And this is the one that looked the most casual and least effort applied.
Right. I think it looks awesome. It almost doesn't even look like it was a picture.
To the point.
Boom.
Wow. That's all
For
for
bio
you.
stuff. Yep. This up here, I think is still, I don't know if we outlined or anything up there. I think we were kind of just in the middle of tattooing it. Wanted to get a quick video of like the Sharpie too.
Yeah. No,
So
you
most of
draw
that
that in a day, and you're able to outline that whole thing in a day too.
Yeah, we probably drew that in like 3 hours. And then for first day session, on that first day, we'll probably put 2-3 hours in and just get a quick like gray base with maybe a little bit of lines.
Damn.
What kind of like consult was that like? Did he just come to you with like, hey, I would like your kind of stuff, or just like
he was
what
super
he was
super open and really was just wanted me to take it whatever direction. He knew he wanted like some nasty, dark, awesome bio that was going to be, you know, scary, dark. Didn't really have any concept in mind. He just wanted bioorganic and was super into it. Didn't know a ton about it, was just like kind of let me do my thing. And so this is what came about from that, with fairly little input. And you can see up here, there's a little cover up that we're working on, like a slip knot thing. So his basic idea was, hey, I got this cover up, but I want a bio sleeve. I'm like, all right, do we want to go more bioorganic, or do we want to go more like, you know, robotic? And, you know, where's your idea sitting with it? And he's just like, dark, scary, organic, you know, like it's alive, like ripping into my arm and things. I'm like, say no more.
Say no more. Have a seat.
Do you just look up like nature references then, or just like tattoo
I got a big arsenal of things in my mind, but I also love to bring up different references and build kind of you know, my ideas for what I might want out of the sleeve. It'll usually start with figuring out what his interests are, figuring out what their input is, if they have any input. Let's say they have no input, then I'm gonna go with where my intuition and what things I've wanted to do is going to go. So if I've been wanting to, work with, say, more like scaly tones or do something more reptile-y or something, I'll probably go and, you know, find some references for all sorts of cool scaly stuff or something like that. If I want rocky textures or bony textures or stalky textures, I'll find something and just kind of, I'll throw them up while I'm working.
It sounded like an
consistently
ideal
look at it.
He's just down for some sick mechy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Managed to find you and hooked it up.
Yeah. And so with a piece like that, also the way I start is I probably won't spend, you know, 15 hours drawing and completing the entire bio arm. Like I'll get a damn good idea of everything I want to do, but it'll usually be about the size of my hand on the computer, and I'll blow it up and shrink it as I'm working on it. But I like to keep it small so it's manageable with my time. And then when we draw it on, I'll look at it, you know, the size that I drew it. But then when we draw it on, I kind of improvise from there. And, you know, it might divert a little bit, but with, you know, main basic shapes aligned there.
Nice. It seems like all your pieces really like flow with the body well. So it's good that like you're.
So I like, those styles, just like, I feel like there's so much you can do with them.
Yeah. Thank you.
Absolutely. Can't get over the line work.
I love these giant digi pieces. I can't wait until you've got some entire limbs to show off.
Thank you. I can't wait to finish her leg with that big booty. The big old booty tattoo.
Mm-hmm.
Can you go to that shoulder one?
Which one's that? This one?
Yeah.
Right here?
Yeah. Yeah, that's insane. This is the kind of stuff that I was thinking of, like, for fillers, like all these little weird gaps that I have. Like, I don't even know what you do to fill them. Like, I don't like looking at skin in between.
Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah, no, I can feel that.
Yeah.
And when drawing stuff like that, you know, I have to like let go of that feeling, because sometimes my brain wants to fill empty space, but then I'll constantly remind myself, like, no, that empty space can be like paint that's already there. You know, it's like it's already there to work with. Valuable. It takes less time, but as long as you incorporate it as opposed to leaving it empty.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like tinting a canvas or something, you know, and like sometimes in a painting there might be a little canvas left behind that's the same pigment that it was in the beginning.
Yep. Damn.
But also sometimes, you know, you just want to see it all filled.
I call that letting the skin breathe. Like you've got to, unless you're doing full color wall-to-wall saturation,
right,
which is wall-to-wall saturation. If you're working in any other style, I think there's so much value to actually letting that skin color be part of the tattoo. And I think it makes it wear so much better, whether it's black work, black and gray, like neo-traditional color work. Like if it's not wall-to-wall saturation, like I think that skin show through is incredibly important.
That stuff on the wrist right there, I love.
Down here, yeah. Thank you.
Show off that picture of the Red Tree Crew in front of the building. That's a nice picture of all of us.
Hey.
Look at us in our masks.
Repping.
Look.
COVID.
Safety
the COVID
first.
special. That was like our first day back from I actually did this first day back from COVID. I did this piece 1 year ago today.
Jeez.
1 day ago yesterday.
Booty.
Did you guys finish that?
No, we haven't finished it yet. She flies out here from Seattle
Damn.
to get that done. So
I really do like that piece. I can't wait to see it.
this is a fun one.
Have either of you guys done any collabs yourselves?
Painting. We've done some cool collab
Oh, yeah.
paintings. I'll make my way. It's in here somewhere.
So actually, I was just having this conversation with one of my clients last week.
Someone should get this one though.
That's incredible.
Anybody out there, please get this.
So I do a good amount of reworking existing tattoos. Like, let's say somebody comes to me
Fawn
and
Jordan
I'm
collab right here.
completing their lower sleeve. Oh yeah, we did this.
That's fucking sweet.
So like, let's say I'm completing a lower sleeve, but they already have an upper sleeve from somebody else. Inevitably, almost every time I'll get asked to like rework or tie in and connect the existing sleeve or existing tattoos, or sometimes like collectors have simply outgrown the tattoo that they have.
Yep.
So, rather than cover it, sometimes I can take that and treat it as it's like the first layer of a painting and then like just embellish it and make it my own. Or I'll take something that's like colored, but in a very flat kind of way. And then I'll color it the way that I would, I'll use my whole spectrum of colors and like just bring it to life like a painting.
Right.
So I have worked on a handful of deliberate collaborative projects, but I call all of those other ones like where I'm reworking stuff to like make it all tie and be cohesive. I call those all accidental collaborations because I truly want to respect the original idea, especially if the original idea was good, but maybe missed the mark, or the original idea was good, but maybe it's 10 years old and like they didn't know what was possible with tattoos. So I consider all of that accidental collaborations. And I think it makes me sharper as an artist too, because it forces me to like put another artist's hat on and figure out like why they made the choices that they made, whether it was successful or not successful. Why did they choose to do what they did? And then how can I catch the ball and run with it? So for me, especially the last couple of weeks, I've been doing a lot of that. And I was just talking to a client the other day of how it's always like a revolving collaboration for me. I don't want to like take away from the original idea. I want to drive it further home.
Yeah.
Fawn, I love this piece.
What, Shrimpney?
I love this piece.
Yeah, thanks, Grace.
We call it Shrimpney, this creature that comes by. This little guy right here,
Yeah,
this little mantis
I got that one.
shrimpipede.
That is sick.
But yeah, this is this painting and the one I was just showing you guys, those we kind of just worked on back and forth. So when I first moved to Red Tree, we kind of started collabing on those and just passed them back and forth. We'd work like 8 hours one day on each one, and then we'd switch.
So if you guys could decide, like, if you like Fawn, if you were to pick anybody you could to collaborate with, who would it be? Like you had a clean slate.
Gecko would probably be a blast to collab with. Like if you see some of my newer like psychedelic geometric stuff, I think you could see that like our imaginations are playing in a lot of the same places. Gotcha. But I personally don't even know Brian yet. Like we've met so briefly in passing, like during festivals and stuff. Like I know he'd know who I was if he saw me, but I don't know that he and I have ever even had like a one-on-one, like, hey, how are you?
Yeah.
Like, it's always been so brief and there's always so much going on that like, we know who each other are, I think, but we don't personally know each other. But I think he would be a great one to collab with.
Yeah, I would love to collab with Gecko. I feel like we have pretty relatable styles in some ways.
He's all about like that kind of guy school of thought too, with like the whole art fusion thing too. So he's always seems super open to collabing with people. And at least just like he's a super nice guy. Like I was talking to him. He said he was down to do the podcast. You guys got to get him on because he's got a crazy collection himself too. It's full of collabs.
Well, I talk about Adrian Lee all the time. So I've actually used Gecko's back piece as an example in other conversations. Just like when you talk about giant work and how it fits the body, you kind of have to bring up Adrian Lee.
Oh yeah, I feel like he's just kind of mastered the flow of just whole body kind of coverage pieces like that.
Yep. I feel like I just want to sit in on a few of his consultations because I've had people like tell me what they're like and tell me how he and his shop handle like their large scale collabs and how they like work out their bodysuits. I'd love to sit and just be part of that, like how they consider the entire body and how different it is from what I do.
I have his one book that shows some of his like work, and the back like 30-40 pages is like all sketches and kind of notes and stuff, like, so it's pretty cool to get that glimpse of the process in a way. But like I mean, even I guess when you're getting tattooed, you don't really see the whole design process. Some people are more like private about it, I guess. I know everyone's got their own process and stuff. They're all interesting in their own way.
I'd love for this guy to come in for one more session. I think that might have been our last, but I feel like we did one more after that.
That shoulder
piece. All these to your story. These are sick.
Yeah, thanks, man.
I almost want to see like someone like you with like a realism artist like collab, like.
Yeah. Oh man, that would be so much fun.
Like that's what I look at, is like mixing styles.
Me and Brandon have collab coming up.
Yeah. Do you?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Me and Brandon Sontag. Yeah, we well, our consultation is next week, and Brandon's working on them.
Keep me posted. I'll get footage of you guys working together.
We got some coordinating to do on that. I can't wait.
That's awesome.
That's the only, I feel like, a major downside to collabs is like there's a lot more coordinating because everyone's got their own schedules and stuff. With a tattoo, at least, like painting, you can at least like just pass it back and forth and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really hard to coordinate with artists.
It's like I said, 3 strikes of lightning. Not just one, not just 2, but 3.
I think it's cool though if you have like a destination and like you all plan like, okay, this is when the destination is going to happen. This is when it's going to be. Like, contact us if you're ready. Like,
yeah,
I think that is awesome.
Yep. And then having it be a destination where everybody can just like hang out and like bring their family and have it be like a mini vacation.
Exactly.
With like a day or 2 of like half work, you know, because like when artists get together and collaborate, it's almost like playtime.
Yeah.
You ever see this finger?
Oh, geez.
That's crazy. I love that it's the middle finger too.
Yep.
Is that all stippled?
No, that's actually lined and fill.
Damn.
And we've gone over it like 2 different times.
Nice.
I wouldn't doubt if
you need a tattoo manager job, so you can blast your hands and stuff too.
I agree.
I mean, this isn't my hand.
No, yeah, but I just mean like the hand tattoos in general.
Oh, never mind.
I don't know. Honestly, when I got my hand tattooed, that's when I had been tattooing for like 7 or 8 years. And I was like, I'm never going back to retail. Cause like, here's what would happen. Anytime I had like a bad day or a bad week or whatever it was, I'd like kick a box over and be like, I'm just going back to retail. And I'd like stomp around for a little bit. I'd be like, I could travel and see the country as a district manager, a regional manager. And I just start like huffing and puffing and like, I don't even need this stress. So I decided one day, like, if I get my hand tattooed, I can't ever do that again. I can't even like throw that out in the universe. Like, what am I going to do? Like, work high-end retail with white gloves on all day? That's dumb. Like, oh no, I'm just afraid of germs.
Yep.
Like, so me getting my hand tattooed was basically like pouring kerosene on my retail resume.
And one fallback.
Yep. That's no backup plan in the back of my mind anymore, because that was always a backup plan. Like, and maybe that's why it was so easy for me to just like jump into tattooing, because like if it didn't work, I could always go back to retail. I had a outstanding resume for as young as I was, so I lit fire to that.
Are always like that weird sand in the line though, or line in the sand. It's like for some reason it just ruins all your opportunities. To a certain degree, I guess.
This day and age, we're getting to the point where it just, what is the tattoo of, and what does the tattoo say about you? I don't think it's necessarily simply having tattoos. I think it's people are knowledgeable enough, and now generally that as long as your tattoos are saying positive things, they're not going to hurt you in life. But
Yeah, I can agree with that.
All right, what time is it? We're already after 2:00 today.
Oh,
We've done a good job running our mouth today, guys.
Good job, everybody.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Next week we'll show you off, show off to you, show you off,
Show.
show you. We will show you the work that I've done lately. We'll creep on my page.
There we go.
You guys got any fun plans coming up? Any good guests or?
So next week I'm working on our buddy Ben Thomas, who's been on the show.
Oh, nice.
We'll be starting his back thighs, like the whole panel, like all is one piece, both from the knees all the way up to his cheekies.
Nice.
Scenery. So I'm really excited about that. And then we're going to have him on the next day. So I'll get
There
to
you
work
go.
on Ben Wednesday, and then we get to talk to him Thursday. And I guess that'll be appropriate while we're talking to Ben. We'll pull up some of the other stuff I've been working on.
Right.
Nice. You guys should like go live during the actual session too, so you get like the whole process, I guess.
I'm definitely comfortable enough to go live my entire session with Ben. I could probably keep that feed going in my room all day.
I think that'd be a great idea.
Yeah, Ben's fun.
I think so.
Nice.
Yeah, Ben's awesome.
Yeah,
Can't wait
and
to
I've
have
got
him
a new
back
little
on.
speaker gadget I can wear that doesn't pick up the radio as much, so
Oh, really?
Instagram won't cut off. Yeah, it's like a little JBL instead of headphones. It's like a speaker that goes around my neck.
Oh yeah.
So it only picks up like a 2-foot bubble around my head, unless the music's really, really loud. So
Perfect.
yeah,
Nice.
yeah,
That
you
works.
can hear me and my client talk, but not the background music. So Instagram will let the video stay up,
Yeah,
not
that's
cut
always
off
a
our
pain in the
feed.
ass.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
We need to
bummer.
figure that out.
But
Right.
I think this device will help.
Yeah, that's true.
Sweet.
All right. So next
Awesome.
week we'll have Ben, and then very soon I'm going to be making the arrangements and announcing when we'll have like a special like bio presentation, and we'll just have a panel of bio artists.
Yeah,
and
we're gonna have an awesome show
jabber.
for the bio.
Yep.
We're gonna have a bio show. Solid bio show.
Yep.
I
Forrest-
rewatched that first one recently, that biomech night they did on Reinventing the Tattoo. That was pretty cool.
I think we were brainstorming about it today at breakfast, but I was going to reach out to you and Jay and then see if we could get Adam, Ty, and Brian on a
Oh,
show
nice.
together. I think that'd be a pretty good show, and everybody like knows everybody.
Right. And we can
So-
we'll run through, just tons of bio.
Yeah, we
and
can talk about our own
really
collections
delve
and each
deep into
other's
it.
work.
Nice. That'll be fun. Yeah. Sounds like a good time.
Yeah, so I'm going to try and plan that for an evening time. I'm going to get with Gabe today and see if we can get that scheduled. So,
Cool.
and then
Nice.
we'll reach out and see who's available when.
Can't wait.
So,
Well, sweet.
but yeah, so next week we'll have our buddy Ben on. I may have another collector from up north. So it'll be a good show. It'll be funny. It'll definitely be a funny episode next week. So maybe less educational than today.
You might have to stand for it. His whole backside will be pretty fresh.
That's true. Ben, why are you bent over like that?
Laying face down.
He'll be on this whole extra table just like chilling.
All right.
Oh man. All right.
Well,
Well,
sweet. Let's
do you guys want to throw your Instagram handles out there so anybody that's watching who hasn't already looked you up can? You can go first, Forrest.
Oh yeah, sure. I'm just at NotForestG on Insta, and I admin BioBoys, just BIO_BOIS. It's just me and my homies sharing stuff. So
Cool.
I just post tattoos and stuff,
Nice.
And Corey?
I am just at Corey Triola, my name, and I run Ink Collabs, so at INK Collabs. We just started that recently, but it's been picking up a lot of steam, so we got a lot coming forward with that. So I would definitely check that out.
Cool.
Hell
Excellent.
yeah.
I gave it a follow. It's you've curated a great page so far.
Thank
Already
you.
posting a bunch of good stuff. Yeah, it's great.
Thank you.
Good to meet you too, man.
Yeah, you too, and thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, it's been a super fun podcast. We definitely appreciate you being on. So
Absolutely. Thank you.
been a good time.
J Doggy,
You can
your
find me,
handles?
Jordan Ruckus Tattoo. Email me, Jordan, or go to www.jordanruckustattoo.com if you want to book a tattoo. But otherwise, Instagram,
All
Jordan
right.
Ruckus Tattoo. Fun, you.
You can find me at Fawn_Baker. on Instagram. You can find me at fawnbaker.com. You can find us on Tattoo Collecting 101 on Insta or tattoocollecting.com. It's also where we have links to all of our previous episodes as well. So if you're watching through the Reinventing app, continue watching through the Reinventing app. If you found us through YouTube, you can find the links to all of our videos on our webpage, and also a link that will direct you right to this app that we keep talking about, which is rad, and everybody should have it.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And it's free. You learn a lot. So
Absolutely.
Alrighty.
Thank you,
Yep. Alrighty, guys. Well, thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week with our buddy Ben and his freshly tattooed leg.
Woo!
Probably one leg, not two. But
Gonna be fun.
Yep.
I can't wait.
all right. Thanks for
Awesome.
joining us, Corey. Thanks for joining us again,
Okay.
Forrest.
No problem.
Talk to you
Thanks,
guys soon.
Thanks,
See you
guys.
later. Thank you.